Yahoo! Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. It's been quite a few minutes. Many minutes, in fact. How many minutes? Let's find out together. I think I last called you. Or wait, are we going by like how many minutes since the last contact? Or how many minutes since the last stream? Because I did call you quite a few times, but I'm not sure if that counts. Yahoo! Oh my goodness. 3 weeks since Tomodachi? Well, that's just since Tomodachi. I called you what, like 4 times? That's gotta count for something, right? I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in this setting though. You know, sitting at my desk with all my equipment ready, everything the way I'm used to it. No need for a phone, or no need for like good cell signal. What is all this? Okay, hold on. let's calm down. Hold on a second. Stop. I thought maybe it would stop the moment I showed my face, but it's still going. Stop. Oh my goodness. Okay, if we're going since stop. If we're going since the last Tomodachi, like the last stream, which was Tomodachi Life, like last regular stream, not like a phone call. Stop. Okay, hold on. That was, let's see, going to my Twitter media. That was April 25th. Oh my god. April 25th. Oh my god. April 25th. Are you kidding me? Stop. Are you kidding me? Stop. Are you kidding me? That's way longer than I feel like it's been. That is kind of crazy. Oh my gosh. What the heck? What is the deal with that? April 25th? Know what happens when I acknowledge it? No, but it continues when I don't acknowledge it too. So what am I supposed to do? I've tried that. I've tried ignoring it and it doesn't work. Oh my gosh. April 25th? Holy moly. Okay, so that's... Hold on. That would be 7, 14, 5, 6, 7, 18 days since the last normal stream. Oh my god. Oh, I never thought I would see this day. Oh my goodness. Okay, in my defense, I did not plan for it to be that way. All right, here's the thing. I had planned to stream like 2 more times after that before I went on my trip. So the Tomodachi Life was not supposed to be my last stream before my vacation. And my vacation was accidentally, unexpectedly extended by 2 days. So, in my defense, it was not supposed to be that way. I also technically intended to call you a little bit more than I actually did when I was away too. 18. So hold on. How many minutes in a day? How many minutes in a day minus AI? Okay. 1440. Let me get my handy dandy calculator up really quick. 1440 times 18 minus 60. Or wait, hold on. Maybe I should subtract. I'm trying to see if I want to be exact about it or not. Like since the last stream started or since the last stream ended, or maybe just the vague number of days. Either way, we're in the territory of approximately 26,000 minutes. Stop! Oh my gosh. Yeah, we are in the territory of approximately 26,000 minutes since the last stream started. It has been that many minutes. I said it's been a minute, but I was grossly underestimating how many minutes it has actually been. Stop! Stop! Oh my god. That's way too much. Okay. Yeah, it's been 26,000 minutes, approximately. If you wanna be super technical about it, we could go for like when the last stream ended, which would actually be. Hold on. Let's see. Minus. Can I do parentheses on this calculator? I can't do grouping symbols. Bogus. Okay. In that case, hold on. We could do 60 times. Let's see. How long was my last Tomodachi live stream? 12 hours. Oh my god. I played it for 12 hours. 720. Okay, flip that to negative. Okay, minus 720. Okay, it has been, since the last stream ended, all right? 25,200 minutes. It has been 25,200 minutes. Can you sit down? Can you stop? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it has been that many minutes since the last stream ended. It has been 25,000 minutes with no stream. Oh my goodness. I hope you've been okay. I hope you didn't miss me too much. I caught wind of a little bit of how much you missed me, but I tried not to think about it too much. Because then it started to make me a little sad too. But oh my goodness. I think I'm gonna die in this live house. No, but it's the live house, so you have to live. L-I-V-E. You have to stay alive in the live house. A live house. You have to. I think I'm gonna live in this house. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I missed you very much. I missed this. But also, I really needed that break. I didn't realize how badly I needed it until I was there for a few days. Maybe, honestly, maybe we could start there. Actually, hold on. Give me just a moment. Let's see, how can I do this? Let's see. You know what? You can take your pick, actually. We've got two options for today. Let me set this up so you can decide. All right, you ready? You got two options for today. Option one. This is option one. Old, reliable, classic. I found a way to deal with, hold on. I found a way to deal with, where is it? I've developed a strategy, but it takes me a second. This one. I found a way to deal with this so I can keep this moving now, hopefully, I think. There was an update like a month ago. Yeah, this is old, reliable, classic, right? Or there's this. More space. More space, but also, I don't know, it's a little bland. What do you think? A or B? My eyes. This isn't even pure white. My hair is brighter than this. Come on now. Come on. Okay, I guess it's gonna be this one then. I like this anyway. This is classic. This is classic edition. Okay. Wait. Let me bring this back. Ashib. Okay. Yeah, we could start there. We could start with the beginning of my trip. I thought. I don't know. I did actually take photos. I'm starting a private journal. Actually, I've learned that I want to be a more sentimental person. I'm on a, you may know I'm on like a passive mission to enjoy my life more. I used to be very cynical about a lot of things like holidays, birthdays, stuff like that. And that included taking photos. I used to be very cynically against taking photos while traveling and doing things. I was like, if I can't remember it in my mind, then it's not worth remembering, was how I used to feel. But I am now trying to adjust my stance so that I can enjoy taking photos while I travel. And that way I have a little digital memento of my memories that I've made. So I took a lot of photos while I was out, but I've decided to maintain the sanctity of this being a private journal, so I will not share any of the photos that I've taken with you. I realize that may be a little disappointing, but I thought a decent enough way to kind of, I guess, sub in for a photo would be to draw the things that I experienced and the things that I saw. I thought maybe you might like that instead. Yeah, it's been a while since the last drawing stream anyway. Yeah, it'll be kind of rough. It'll be kind of doodly, but that's how I like it anyway. So we start. I arrive. I arrive after a long series of flights, and I look like. Here, hold on. we'll start over here. I'll use this one, I think. I look like this. To kind of get across the idea of why I needed this trip. I look like, whoa, I'm getting used to this. I got a new tablet, by the way. I don't think I've used it on stream yet. I have used it for a couple of assignments, but yeah, I haven't used it on stream yet. I decided it was time to retire my ancient tablet that I've been using for 1 billion years because it stopped working, unfortunately. Yeah, I got many years out of it, but it no longer works. Yeah, I show up and I look like this. And my hair is wait, hold on. Let me get this over here. Okay. Yeah, I land after a long series of flights in the city where my friends live. And I look like, whoa. I look like this. My hair is a huge mess. All over the place. Just a big fat mess on my head. And down here, and I took a mirror selfie when I arrived in the bathroom of the airport. And this is just what I looked like. I did not look good. Here, I got my I got my phone. Wait, maybe I could do it like this. Yeah, I took my mirror selfie and I looked miserable. I did not look good. And you may think, oh, is this because of oh, I already lost my color. Let's see. I need to get used to this new pen too, so I'll be learning how this works as we go. Yeah, you may think, Kaelix, is this because of the flight? And to an extent, it kind of was. It was partially because of the flight. You know, it was not a very, I say flight singular, it was flights plural. They were not very enjoyable flights. They were kind of rough. There were delays, as there can be at times. Or wait, maybe more like here. There were delays. There were inconveniences at every. Nah, I'll just do it in the solid white, actually. You know, just the typical flight inconvenience and discomfort. I'm not a huge fan of flights. I forgot my belt in the morning. Yeah, I forgot my belt. I went through the checklist multiple times. I had my outfit prepared ahead of the trip, sitting on my desk chair so that I could change into it after I got out of the shower. Got everything except for my belt. So the whole trip, my pants were like, here, I can draw this too. I'll continue this drawing down a little bit. We'll go down like here. My pants, how do I draw this? I don't know how to do this. My pants were like super. Here, I'm constantly grabbing my pants to pull them up and hold them up. Super baggy. Just miserable. Trying to keep my pants on because I forgot my belt and managed to not notice until I was halfway to the airport. And at that point, it's like already a full hour's drive, so there's no point in going back for it, or else I'm gonna miss my flight, you know. So it was a rough morning, but here's the truth. I did not look like this because of the flight. I looked like this because it was a rough series of weeks leading up to the flight. It was not the best of times for young Kaelix. I was not doing so good. When I genuinely, it's kind of crazy. When I arrived, I didn't think anything of it when I took the photo, but when I compared it to photos that I took later on in the week, it was very noticeable. I basically looked like a skeleton. Not for any lack of nutrition or anything. I eat great, I sleep right, but I guess I've been under considerable amounts of stress lately. Lately as in like the last few months. So I had very visible dark circles. I look like this. Here, hold on. There you go. No, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I arrived looking just like a skeleton. I looked miserable. I did not look like I wanted to be where I was. I looked just absolutely disheveled and rough, and it was not nice. But literally within like 3 days time, the dark circles disappeared and I looked so happy and healthy, and it was awesome. So that, I think around day 3 or 4, I realized just how badly I needed the trip. Yeah, this is how I arrived. This is my mirror selfie that I took in the bathroom of the airport the day I arrived. From there, it was just a pretty chill day. There were some errands to run. I had to get a new belt. Among the... oh my gosh. Among the options that I was trying to look for, there were none. There was a single option. And it was this super bougie, expensive... Whoa. Okay, hold on. Maybe I could do this better. Like, designer belt. Oh my gosh, wait. Am I an artist? Am I an artist? Super bougie, expensive, like ludicrously expensive designer belt. Oh my gosh. The dollars I spent on this. In my defense, I think belts like these actually tend to go for a lot more if it's designer. But this was much more than I am personally willing to spend on a belt. It was a disgusting amount. Oh my gosh. Haunted by it. But I needed a belt. And, you know, I wanted to look right when I met my friends. When they saw me, you know, I wanted to look good, and I didn't want to be pulling my pants up the whole day. So I was just going for the first option that I could find. I saw this one hanging up in one of the airport stores. I was like, okay, finally a belt. Because I had checked every single store in all 3 airports. I checked all 3 airports. I checked mine, I checked the connecting airport, and I checked the one I landed in. None of them had any except for this one store in the 3rd and final airport. And so I grab it and I'm like, oh, can I have this please, ma'am? And she was like, yes, of course. But there was no price tag on it. There was no visible price tag. So she rung me up. She's like, all right, that'll be $. I was like, oh, okay. And everything in my body was like, no, Kaelix, tell her you can't get this. Tell her it's too expensive. Put it back. But I couldn't do it because I was too shy. So I bought it. I sure did. I bought it. It was this many. It was not this many, if you're wondering, but it was getting there. It was almost this many, but it wasn't. It was this many. And that is way too many. Does that make sense? Like, for me, a belt should be almost this many, but it's just barely this many. Does that make sense? But it wasn't. It was almost this many. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. This is genuinely the most ridiculous. Like, I need you to understand my personality a little bit here. I am the type of person who, like, my shining achievement is to find an expensive looking coat for like $20 at the thrift store. That's my treasure. All right. Like, the coat that I regularly wear right now, I say regularly wear right now as if it's cold, but when it's cold, the coat that I've been wearing the last year or two, I paid like $20, $30 for it. But it looks good. It looks good. Is it a good belt? Yes. But there's a little asterisk next to it. The asterisk is that it don't fit me. It does not fit. It's not my size and I can't wear it. So I put it on. Thinking it fit me. I tried it on before I grabbed it. I was like, okay, this wraps around just right. It's good. Because I was in a rush. You know, I didn't have much time. I had to get out of there. And then when I actually started looping it around, I realized that the smallest hole on it was too big for me. It's too big for my waist. So now I have this really expensive belt that doesn't fit me. So I gave it to my brother. And it fits him perfectly because he's got a bigger waist than me. Yeah, it fits him flawlessly. It looks great. He likes nice things, so it became a gift. It became a gift. There we go. This was number 4 in the end. I thought about giving it to number 2, but his waist was too big for it. Mine was too small. Number 4 was just right. Yeah. So that was my airport adventure. I got a very expensive belt. Way too pricey by my standards, but I got it. The things that social anxiety or fear will make you do, if you're ever wondering. I do a really good job of faking it sometimes, but my gosh, the way that I will just go along with anything to get through an interaction sometimes. Oh my god. Yeah, I purchased it. I sure did. And I feel it every morning when I wake up. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, ooh, I spent that much money on a belt a week ago. Oh my goodness. But yeah, then after that, the rest of the day was pretty chill. I met up with my friend who was hosting me for the whole week. He thankfully had a belt that did not fit him. It was my size. Yeah, there was a belt that was a little, I don't remember if it was too small or too big. I don't remember who has the bigger waist between us. But yeah, he had a belt that was my size. He was like, all right, Kaelix, you can have this. And I was like, really? Yeah, so as if it was preordained, I got a belt that fit me perfectly. As for meals, did I have anything to eat that day? Obviously, I ate something, but I don't remember what. Yeah, I ate something. I can't remember. But I had something to eat. That honestly, the rest of the day was a blur. I was so tired. I was on very little sleep. I can never sleep on the plane even when I try to. I usually get poor sleep leading up to a flight because I'm too excited to sleep. Yeah, I was pooped. But then I went to bed. And then the next day, we went on a camping road trip. It was so awesome. I say camping, but it was more like glamping. Because it's like we went out to a super rural area away from the city, but we were not staying in a tent, if that makes sense. Yeah, we rented a little car. Whoa. How do I want to draw this? We rented a little car. It was super awesome. I was passenger princess for most of it, which meant that I had to navigate. There were 3 of us. I was right here. That's me. Can you recognize me? Okay, wait, hold on. I could do a better job. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is me. In the passenger seat. And we're on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. We had a little dust cloud behind us because we were zooming. This is my secret friend. I say secret because I won't be revealing any details about these guys. I gotta protect their privacy. Yeah, there were 3 of us. There was me. There's host friend who was driving for this trip, and then there was other friend. He was mostly in the back seat. He yielded the front seat to me because he likes me. I'm just kind of used to sitting in the passenger seat because I was always the oldest kid. And there was usually just one parent in the car at a time. So I was always in the passenger seat growing up. Or at least not growing up. When it was growing up, I was in the back seat. But as time moved on, gradually, I was the one in the passenger seat. Younger Kaelix, but not baby Kaelix, I guess. Yeah, we had a nice little car. It was pretty nice, pretty cool. Borrowing the car. Whoa. Trying to pick out tasteful colors to keep a consistent palette here. I think I might want to go for a super washed out, like, yeah, that's pretty good. You just fill in the car a little bit. And then do some wheels. Okay, that's me in the front. All right. And on this road trip, we did many things. I mentioned that we weren't staying in a tent. We were staying in this like house. This house in like a super rural area. There were no neighbors that I could think of. No neighboring houses. It was a super open area. Lots of trees. Very, very out in nature. It was very scenic and beautiful. I figure that is sufficient description of the place we stayed in. We ate at a lot of places. Where did we eat? Let's see. In no particular order. need to figure out how to do this on my new pen. This pen works differently than the one that I normally use, so I don't know how to do all of my usual shortcuts. We went to a diner. At that diner, I ordered sandwiches. Not a joke. I ordered like it looked like this. Hold on. I'm trying to think of how best to demonstrate this. Yeah, that's right. We had some sandwiches, or I had some sandwiches. Everybody ordered something different. And I had a little bit of everybody else's order as well, but I ordered some sandwiches from this diner. And there was like a pick going through it, and it looked like a little sword. It was super cool. Had that on my own little plate. And at the same diner, we shared a super cute milkshake. And it had a little bit of alcohol in it, so driver friend did not actually partake, but the other two of us, we shared it. It was super interesting. I really just tasted the alcohol, to be honest with you. I did not like it too much, but I accepted it. It was pretty okay. Yeah. Oh wait, I need to do this like this. Okay. I drew on the wrong layer there for a second. And then to color it, we can do like... Oh, that's too saturated. We'll do like here. Yeah! Okay. And then a little brown. Smaller brush. And then throw in a little bit of green. It was a nice... like club type sandwich, very like filled with vegetables and various meats and whatnot. You know, I love a good club sandwich. I love something with everything on it. Very tasteful, very delicious. Had a pretty good assortment of just about everything you'd want on a sandwich. And the slushy was like the milkshake. It was like this kind of color. Had various flavors in it, but mostly I just tasted the hand sanitizer. I mean the alcohol. But it was good. It was still good. Yeah, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the alcohol taste, or at least not yet, and I don't know if I will be in the future after trying it more, but I guess for me, what I liked about it was sharing it. I like sharing drinks. It was nice. Yeah. And we had, let's see, where else did we go over the course of that to eat? We went to this really nice, it was kind of fancy. I guess it wasn't particularly fancy, but, you know, by Kaelix standards, it was pretty fancy. It was the Ritz by my standards, because I don't go out to eat very much. I'm very used to my lifetime nostalgic meals of like garbage and microwavables. That's what I grew up on. Let's see. And what did I order? I ordered... Hold on, I need to go to my digital journal. Yes, this was that day. Okay, so I got a clam chowder. I don't know how to draw this other than to just do like this on here. But there was something that kind of stood out about it a little bit that may help your imagination. It had... Wait, here, I'll color the bowl first. We'll do... I'll do this. Yeah, okay, so I had a clam chowder. I think this is actually my first clam chowder. I may be wrong. I may have had it before and forgotten. I really liked it, though. It was really, really good. So yummy. I'm a big fan of seafood. I'm a big fan of soup. It was super yummy. And something I had never had on this. This is totally new for me. I had never heard of this in a food before. And I had to ask them what it was, but I forgot. Like the waitress came out and was like, oh, this is this. Would you like some more? And she gave me some more. But it was like this green oily spread on the top of the chowder. It was like this. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It was an oil of some kind, but it was kind of yummy. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was really tasty. I wish I could tell you what it was, but I forgot. Even went out of our way. We were like, what is this green stuff on here? And she's like, oh, it's this. Yeah, I think it was an herb of some kind, or maybe a combination of herbs, but I can't remember. I asked her, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I had a clam chowder. Notable experience here as well. I didn't order it, but my friend ordered some lamb. It was like a pasta, I think, or something like that, and it had lamb in it, and I had never had lamb before that, so I had a bite of lamb. I don't know that I liked it very much, but it was an interesting flavor. So, a nice first. You know, I love to try things for the first time. Lots of foods out there that I've never had. Yeah, I had that at that restaurant, and it was very tasty, very yummy, very tasteful as well. The ambiance is really nice. Yeah, and we went at like a less busy hour, so it wasn't too noisy, which I also like. Let's see. What else? Oh wait, I gotta do this so that I can see you. Okay, I lost you there for a second. What else did we have? We went to a diner at one point for brekkie, and we had. Well, I can't remember if they got the same thing or not, but I had some pancakes. It was so yummy. I had like 3 of them. And they were super lumpy and delicious. Or wait, that's not how you would draw that. It would be like... I'll do like this. And I had... what did I have on the side? I had some bacon... and some egg. And it had blueberries in it. It was super delicious. And the syrup paired really well with it as well. I don't remember what the syrup was, but it was tasty. I liked it. I think it might have been a flavored one. Like it might have been blueberry flavored or like raspberry flavored or something, but whatever it was good. I remember walking away from that place like, yeah, it was very tasty. Parting the sea good? Yes, it was. It was split the sea delicious. It was split the seas tasty. Like I had a bite of this and I said, it's so good. And then like the choir started like the ocean presented itself before me. I split it with my vocal beam, and then the pancakes presented themselves atop a massive geyser at the edge of the ocean. It was that tasty. It was great. 10 out of 10 will have again if I ever find myself in that area again. And I kind of would like to go back, actually. It was very nice. It was interesting because speaking about this area that we were in while I color in a little bit, it was very like, as far as rural stuff goes, it was very similar to Kokiri Village and the surrounding region of my home of Kokiri Village. Like it looked a lot like my home. It reminded me a lot of home. But here's the thing. It was within a certain drive of a city. So something that made it very different from my home was that there were lots of small businesses. That was something I noticed that I wasn't as used to. It actually made it feel almost like a movie version of my home. Does that make sense? Because there was enough traffic and tourism, I guess, from the city. Something like that. I don't know. That's my theory as to why it was like that, and I'm not used to it where I live. In my slice of small town America. Yeah, very much like a Hallmark version of Kokiri Village. Like as far as buildings go, and honestly, I bet as far as population goes as well, it was probably one and the same. But there was enough traffic from people that did not live there that yeah, they had some small businesses. There were like mom and pop shops and like people running their own stores. It was awesome. I loved it so much. We spent a good day just going to a bunch of different establishments and like sampling their stuff or just window shopping. It was really nice. That was actually one of my favorite days of the road trip. What else did I eat while I was there? There was one day we went to this guy. Speaking of like independent stores and small businesses and stuff, there was like a local in one of the neighboring areas. There was a local independently run butcher. Like he did his own. Oh, I gotta fix this. He did his own. He did his own meat stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I personally had never had anything like that. Any of the meat that I've had, generally, it's always been very processed. Like chains, passing down many different processes to get to a grocery store or like a convenience store or whatever. So it was pretty interesting. So we stopped by that place and we grabbed something and we got some basic groceries from a grocery store. And my friend, driver friend, host friend, he cooked for us. It was really awesome. He made... I'm going to try to do this presentation justice because he worked really hard on it and he presented it like it was like Michelin 5-star. He made... There was steak on there. There was some broccoli. Wait, hold on. How do I demonstrate this? There was some broccoli, which I really love. You know, I love broccoli. I'm a huge fan of broccoli. And he cooked it just right. Oh, my mouth is watering just thinking of it. It was so yummy. I think this is my favorite meal of the trip. There's some broccoli. He did a bunch of potatoes as well to go with it. They were made just right, seasoned to perfection. It was like just the right amount of oil as well. Oh, I'm getting so hungry thinking about it. I've already had my dinner, but I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Like I'm about to like I'm kind of separating these on the plate, but they were meshed together really well. Like they stacked onto each other in a very tasteful way. It was really good. Oh, it was so good. And I actually got extra broccoli on my plate. That was kind of cute. He sampled the plate based on each person's preferences. Like it was like, okay, Kaelix likes broccoli, so he can have a little more, but the other friend does not like broccoli as much, so we won't put as much on his plate. It was kind of cute. I keep drawing on the wrong layer. Okay, I can fix this. Yeah, it was really, really tasty. I just had like a basic water on the side, I think, but I'll go ahead and put it here. Honestly, I could afford to mention what my drinks were with everything. I had water with this. Actually, no, it was served in a jar, I think. It was like this. And I had water with this. It was kind of a fancy glass. Very tall and skinny. Yeah, it was really, really good. It was served on like a darker plate, like this kind of color. Maybe a little brighter. Yeah, and I think I don't know. In general, my favorite kind of cooking is something that somebody made for me, like friends, family, etc. So it was extra delicious. I could taste the love and attention and the care that went into it. It was so yummy. Oh, I want it again. It was so nice. And it was actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, one of my less adult personality traits, I guess, one of my more immature sides is that I've always been very bad with eating steak or meat if it's not cooked all the way through as well done. Because I've had this weird quirk where, in my mind, if I can see pink, that means it's contaminated and bad and I can't eat it. Does that make sense? Even though I know it's not true, and I know you could probably eat it totally like rare, like true, like bloody, and it's safe to eat because of the way it's prepared. Yeah, I've always been kind of weird about that. I need it to be like leather if I'm gonna eat it. And as a result of that, I'm sure you can guess, I've never been a huge fan of steak. I've never been much of a steak eater. But he was like, I'm not going to serve you well-done steak. We're going to fix this. I was like, okay, I'll trust you. And he served me medium well steak. And it was really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I got over myself a little bit. It was pretty nice. Yeah, medium well. So I'm going to work my way gradually down to medium, and that's probably where I'm going to stay, because I don't know if I can go to medium rare or like rare. Yeah, it was really nice. Oh, and I can go in and I can fill this in too. Okay. And let's see, did I have any other meals on the road trip? I had a quiche one morning. That was really good. Hold on. I think it was my first quiche as well. Very basic thing that I definitely had opportunities to have before, but I just never did. Like, I never ate it. So, yeah, I had a quiche. It was a very picturesque quiche. Well, maybe not so big. It was very cute. Very Instagrammable, as they say. I'm not an Instagrammer myself, so I did not be, I would not be Instagramming it, but I did take a photo of it. It was very picturesque. It was very tasty. It was very creamy on the inside, a little crusty on the outside. The quiche penimus? Oh no, it's quiche penimus is how it's pronounced. Oh, you remember quiche penimus? Yeah, actually, I got that. I picked that up by hanging out with these two on this road trip. Yeah, I particularly got it from the friend who was in the back seat for most of it. I think he was the big quiche penimus fan. Yeah, I think he's a. I think there are times when I'm more online than he is. Like, there are some references that I had to explain to him. But I think he's more, like, currently online than I am when it comes to, like, TikTok and stuff. Yeah, there's some vegetables. I think there was some spinach in it. It was so good. Oh, and there was, like, a little of this in here. It was... Whoa, that's a little too much. Yeah, I had a quiche, and it was very yummy. I just messed up my color wheel. Ugh. Okay. Color of my plate. Okay. And what else did I have? I just realized that, oh my gosh, I was going to talk about the things we did on the road trip, but then I just got straight into all the food. You can tell I love food, right? I love food. I love eating. I think eating is such a wonderful thing. Oh my gosh, that's what I went straight for. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. Oops. This reminds me of when I made my debut presentation like over a year ago, and I just started talking about food. Let's see. Maybe I can turn a food into a memory. One memory food that I had was one of the nights that we were there on the trip. We set up a fire. And I had... Here, hold on. Where can I set this up? I can do this, like, over here, I guess. Yeah, we had one of these things. What are these called? Like a fire pit. I don't know how best to demonstrate this. Yeah, there were logs in here. I helped set it up. I felt pretty cool. And there was a fire. Actually, I think it might be better if I do this. I keep drawing on the color layer. One sec. Ugh. 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 Okay. Boom. Okay. Yeah, it might be better if I do it like this. We had a fire. And on that fire, I cooked some s'mores. It was really nice. And we talked. I got to tell them one of my long jokes. I think I told you this long joke at one point, so I'm gonna spare you the repetition because it's kind of I don't know. I see it as kind of distasteful. Yeah, there was a nice little fire. It was very comforting because it was a pretty cold night. Because we were super far out into a rural area, I was able to see the stars really clearly, which was nice. It reminded me of home. That's something I kind of notice whenever I travel, is that I cannot see the sky as clearly a lot of the time because of the light pollution. like all those lights in a city or like in any place that I'm traveling to. Compared to my hometown where like if I look out I can see the stars super clearly every night. So it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice seeing the stars. I saw a constellation that I was able to recognize, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever done that before because I've gone stargazing a number of times over the years. But I think this was a very, like a new experience where I saw a constellation that I knew about. Naturally, I will not tell you which one it was, but yeah, I was actually able to spot and like in my mind draw out a constellation. And it's one of my favorite ones, so it's pretty nice. Yeah. And with that, I gotta draw it. I had some s'mores. How do you like your marshmallows? How cooked do you cook your marshmallows out of curiosity? I have a nasty quirk here that my friends flamed me for. Golden, brown, raw. Oh, so like uncooked? Oh my gosh. Nearly burnt, slightly burnt. So I like mine. Here, I'll demonstrate in the color. Here, I'll do little lines around it. Pair it with the meal. Well, here, we'll work our way up to it. How about that? I did. Sorry, I got my this one. It's a little too dark. Got my graham cracker, right? Can't go without your graham cracker. Got some classic milk chocolate. Super yummy. As for the marshmallow, I like when it looks like this. Yeah, I like it when it's completely burnt. Like all the way around. Black and charred, because then the inside is super gooey. Oh, it's so good. I know it's not particularly good for you. So it should be done in absolute moderation. Ideally should not be done at all, but that's how I like it. That's how I like it. Doesn't it make it bitter? Yeah, but I like bitter. I like bittersweet. So it's a nice gradient of flavor between like the super charred burnt outside and then the sweet gooey heaven on the inside. Yeah, that's why when I play Peak, I burn it all the way. Because that's how I personally choose to eat it. Yeah, and peeling it is really nice. It just comes off, the skin comes off so smoothly when it's all the way burnt. Yeah, it was really nice. What else did we do? While on the trip, we went to a bunch of thrift stores. There was, let's see, is there anything of note to describe at the thrift store? Oh, there was one thing we actually bought. We were window shopping, so we only bought one thing. We didn't expect to buy anything. We just went to a number of thrift stores and antique stores to look at stuff because I love antiquing and I wanted to bring them along because they do not antique as much as I like to. Like they don't go to these stores very often, or maybe ever. I don't know. And one thing that we bought was this game that none of us had ever heard of before. It was called... No, I'm kidding. It wasn't Scrabble. It wasn't that one. It was a very similar game. You know, I know what Scrabble is, don't worry. I played Scrabble when I was a little kid because it was my mom's favorite board game, or one of her favorites. But this one I unironically had never heard of before. It was a twist on Scrabble called Option. And there were like triangular tiles. So here's the deal. On regular Scrabble, you've got tiles that look like this, right? They're just regular squares. And it'll have like a letter on it, right? These tiles were very different. All right? The tiles in this game were shaped... Oh, how can I demonstrate this? They were shaped like this. Does that make sense? I don't know if you can see this. I'm not very good at drawing shapes like these. Like it was a triangle. It was kind of like a tent or like a book that was partially closed. Do you see the vision? And there were letters on both sides. All right. So each tile had 2 letters. And each letter also had a color associated with it. So one would be dark and one would be bright. So there was 2 options. There was like bright K with a dark background, or there was dark A with a light background. And with this came unique rules where, for example, if you flipped a tile that was on the board to form a new word, here's an example. Let's say that the word on here is... Are you ready? We'll do it like this. Pork, as in John Pork. All right, this is the word that's on the board. What you could do for extra points, if you manage to flip a letter to form a new word like this, and then do your turn normally. Oh wait, wrong pen. Do your turn normally. So you flip this to form park, and then you could do like a maze or whatever, you know? Just like normal Scrabble, but you flip a letter. If you do that, flipping it gets you, I think, I can't remember how many points. I think it was like 25 plus 25 points. It was a pretty insane number of points that you got for flipping a letter. And then if all the colors were the same, then it was worth double points. So doing a move like that and then adding a maze, you would count this times 2. If these are all the same color, you'd do this times 2. And then you get an additional bonus for doing the flipped letter. We played this back at the house we were staying in. We played this for like an hour or 2. We were obsessed with it. So yeah, we played option for a while. One of my cool plays, I don't remember what word I flipped to make it, but my biggest play was actually a very short word. It was the word cult. I flipped the vowel from another word, and it was a long word, so there were a lot of letters that I was getting bonus points for, and it made it the same color, I think. So I got double for the long word. I got bonus points for the flipped letter, and then I got cult was the same color as well. That was my biggest brain play. I got a disgusting number of points from that turn. Yeah, we played option, and that was really fun. Highly recommend if you can find this game. If you like Scrabble, this is like a pretty fun twist on it. You have to think about the letters in a different way. I did not win, unfortunately. Friend number 3 is a big word fan. He loves word games. I say friend number 3 as in the one, I guess friend number 2 in this context, assuming that I'm not in the count, right? There's driver friend, and then there was backseat friend as far as the car positions go. Backseat friend loves word games. He absolutely destroyed me. I may have gotten a couple turns where I got really big point counts, but he was very consistently getting solid word counts or point counts. It was absurd. It was an absurd number of points. It was just bananas. Yeah. Played that for a while. It was very fun. What else? We did not get it from the thrift store, but something we did also play was a game I was not familiar with, but I was familiar with a spin-off of this game on iPhone. This game called... whoa. I don't know how to draw. I don't remember what the logo looked like, or the cover. I remember what this looked like, though. Here, I'll do it like this. I'll do it in 2 parts. There were letters here. I'm just doing random shapes and blobs and stuff to get this idea across. It was called Boggle. That's right. This was Big Boggle. So I presumed that there's like a smaller version of Boggle that existed before this one. This was my introduction to Boggle as a concept. The way that this game worked, this one we already had. I think the word friend brought it with him. I can't remember for sure. Maybe it was at the house we were staying in. But yeah, this one, I'm familiar with a very similar game called Word Hunt. It's like an Apple iMessage game, and I play it with my friends a lot. I force them to play it against me because I love winning. But this one, what happens is you... oh, I could add this too. Hold on. You have like a little stopwatch. and you turn it over. And you've got this, basically this assortment of random letters. You shake it up to get the letter combination. And you have until the time runs out to get all your letters. And what you do is you form words with them. Whoa. I need to figure out what the color picking command is on this new pen. I found it. I found it instantly. Oh, wrong pen. That's okay. And basically, to explain this one, if you've never played, it would look like this. You'd have, I'll use the same example from earlier. You'd have a bunch of letters. We'll do like this. You don't need to know what these other letters are. You basically would form as many words as you can by connecting letters that are directly next to each other. So for example, using this arrangement of letters, you could form 2 words. You could actually form 3 words, I think. Maybe more. Yeah, you could form multiple words, several words. I'll say that. The idea is that you connect, like, you could do this to form pork, as in John Pork. Or you could do this to form park. You could do par. You know? Things like that. It's not particularly easy unless you can connect letters really quickly like that. But I liked it a lot. It was really fun. I did really, really well the second time we played. The first time we played Boggle, it was actually when the driver friend was napping. And I got absolutely destroyed going toe-to-toe against the word friend who really loves word games. Got absolutely toasted, like destroyed. He totally cooked me. It was like no mercy. There was a point gap of like 40 for several games. It was rough. Like woof. But I did really well the second time that we played, which was with all 3 of us. And I felt pretty cool. I got some good point counts that time. I brought my A game the second time after having some experience, I guess. Yeah, we played word games for a while. Oh, and one other thing we did while we were out that I really loved, to kind of take away from the objects and the stuff, I guess, is we went on a nice hike. We went on a nice hike. It was a really scenic and pretty area. Hold on. Lots of trees to walk through, lots of plants and like water to admire and stuff like that. But my favorite sight out of all of that was actually this really pretty, and I guess I liked it because it just reminded me so much of home. I was surprised to see how much of my home exists in the rest of the world, like far away from home, because I was nowhere near where I live, but a lot of it reminded me of home. There was a stretch, like this super pretty clearing. There were no trees in sight or anything, where it was just nothing but wildflowers. Just wildflowers all over it. Okay, this is a little too big. I'll take up a little less space with this. We'll do like here. That looks about right. Yeah, this super gorgeous clearing that we found. And there were just tons of like just dandelions all over it. Like there were some parts of the grass that basically looked yellow because there were so many dandelions, and it made me so happy because I love dandelions. They're considered weeds, but they're some of my favorite flowers. Like if we're including wildflowers and things that are considered to be weeds, I think dandelions are unironically in my top 3, dethroning like hyacinths or hydrangeas. I love dandelions so much. It was just so pretty. I took a lot of photos here. We took some group photos. It was really nice. But I'll just kind of sloppily redraw. I say redraw, but I'll draw the vague impression of one of the photos that they took of me. There was one where I was jokingly describing that this field looked like the backdrop to like the front cover of a musical movie, something in the character vibe of La La Land, where it's like a couple, and I was trying to demonstrate what they would be posed like. So I did like I was kind of frolicking through the fields a little bit, trying to remember what I was wearing that day. I think that day I wore those pants, and I think I had my shirt was tucked in the front, but not in the back. Whoa. I'm seeing so many visuals on my screen. I pressed the wrong button on my tablet. Okay. And I was trying to gesture like how they would do it in a movie, I guess. Whoa. Where am I? Here we are. I was trying to demonstrate the idea. So I did like this kind of pose. And, oh, no, wait. I was wearing one of these. And oh, no, wait. I remember how I wore my shirt that day. I was misremembering. Wait, can I? Oh, I guess I can't. Hold on. Okay, I can erase this to get the idea across. Okay. I remember how I wore my shirt that day now. It was a button-up shirt, but I buttoned only the top button. So it was kind of like this. And I had like I think it was a white shirt on underneath. Yeah, I did one of these poses. I was like the lead actress, she'd be posing like this. And she'd be like gently looking back at the camera. I don't know if this makes sense. Do you see my vision? This is how I explained it to them at the time. Okay, whoa. This is digital art, so I have the privilege of doing this. And then as for colors, it was like this. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. This one. Found it. Yeah, I was posed kind of like this in the photo that they took of me. And it actually came out pretty cute. This is one of my favorite photos that we took that day. At least that where I was the focus. My favorite photos were the ones where all three of us were there. Oh, and then I need like this here. Yeah. That was a photo they took of me. Oh wait, I could stand to add in an essential detail here. Hold on. I could get it better from this. Yeah, okay. How could I forget my trademark middle bang? Okay. Yeah. That was a pretty like a nice time. That was one of my favorite spots on the walk that we took. We took a long walk. We were out for hours just walking. It was bright when we left and it was dark when we got out. It was so nice though. Very many pretty things we saw. We saw some abandoned things like abandoned buildings, abandoned structures, very like out of shape, which I think the average person considers these things to be very creepy. But I am personally a big fan of those things. One of my favorite spots that we went into was actually, maybe I shouldn't tell you actually. I'll leave it up to your imagination. But we explored something that was a little out of shape and a little abandoned for a bit, and it was really nice. But I really liked it. I love spooky, abandoned, like, this used to be important to some people, but now it's not touched anymore. I love that. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah, so that was a pretty nice time as well. I'm trying to think of if there was anything else worth sharing over the road trip. Any food that I've forgotten? I figured that's the gist of it, honestly. There's at least one meal in here that I'm forgetting. But yeah, it was really nice. Had a nice walk, took lots of nice photos. There was one spot in particular, here I'll draw this too. There was one spot in particular that stood out to me where it genuinely looked like a portal to another world. It was really, really cool. It was another of my favorite spots. So I'm trying to think of how I can draw this with my limited abilities here. There was the dirt path that we were taking, right? So hold on, there's the dirt path, and from my POV standing on it, it was kind of like this, all right? So there's, or no, maybe more like this POV, or no. I don't know how to demonstrate this. Perspective is kind of hard for Kaelix. Let's see. I'll just do like this. There was this one spot on the hike where there was... Wait, which button? This one. There's grass on either side. On one side, there were lots of wildflowers, right? Like similar to the area that we took photos in. On one side, it was very pretty and like just full of life is one way I would describe it. It was very like elegant and cute and bright and warm. But then this other area, hold on, I'll add some of these too. One side was very, very pretty and nice. The other side had almost like a dreary vibe to it. There was like not a single wildflower in sight. No cultivated flowers either. There were a bunch of like dead husks of something on the ground on the other side, right? Just super dry and empty, and yeah, it was like a polar opposite to the side on the other side of the road. The path. And then at the edge of this boundary here, right? Where the road continues, the path that we were taking, there was this area where the trees continued, like where the forest continued. And it was like, it's kind of hard to describe this. It genuinely looked like a fairy portal. Like it looked like an entrance to something supernatural. The trees were all here. It's a little too dark. There we go. Continued like this. Oh my gosh, it was like ethereal. It was magical. And the hour we got there, it was super dark, so it was kind of spooky. It genuinely felt like a gateway to something. And it looked like this on the inside. Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. It was another of my favorite spots. I loved it so much. The path got kind of dark. Yeah, so the way I saw it, and I described this to my friends this way in the moment too. I was like, all right, we've got life on this side. We've got death on this side, and we've got the boundary in between that represents purgatory beckoning us inside. That's the way I described it when we were there. And they were like, Kaelix, you need to stop talking like that. You're creeping us out. Yeah, it was really cool. That was another spot that kind of stood out to me on my walk. Yeah. Yeah, it was purgatory. Limbo in the middle. It was like something in a video game or a storybook, and I loved it. Oh, it was awesome. And that was pretty much it for our trip. So after that, we here, hold on, got an idea. We took our car and we went back to the city. Yeah, we neumed away. And then my week continued. But that was probably the highlight of the whole week. The rest of the week I basically just met a bunch of friends from different groups, different backgrounds. I met a bunch of friends for meals and stuff, and it was super nice. And I shared like a lot of warm memories with them. But yeah, I think this gap of a few days where we were taking a trip away from the city, just, quote unquote camping, I think that was the highlight of the whole trip for me. I loved it so much. And these are the memories that I made while on that little trip. Had many nice meals. Not pictured are lots of lots of laughter and like inside jokes that were formed, and some various other things. We went to some other destinations, some other like small businesses and stuff that I'm just neglecting to draw right now. But yeah, I loved it a lot. It was a very beautiful time. Back in the city. Let's see, what did I do back in the city? The first day back, my host friend was unavailable because he's employed. He's got a job. So he was not available to hang out with me very much that day. So that was a day that I ran some errands. I went and bought some things that I neglected to pack because I forgot a few things this trip. I failed to pack a few things that I needed. So I went out and got some stuff. I can't remember what they were now, but yeah, my friend my friend's got a job, so he was not available. He's too employed to hang out with me on weekdays. So yeah, I went back to the city. I think my first meal back, I had some fast food of a brand that I will not mention, but I had like a sandwich, and it was very nice. I love I don't know. I mentioned it earlier. Sometimes there are just days where I need to have some garbage in me, or else I'll die. Because it just feels right. You know what I mean? Like I'm fully aware of how it's not good for me, but I need it anyway. It's nostalgic, and I think the thing I like about it is that it's always the same. And because I grew up on it, I have a pretty like solid expectation of what it should always be like when I have it. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I had some delicious garbage, and it was kind of nice because I had seen a lot of new sites so far in the week, and I was very far from home. So having a bite of my tasty garbage, it kind of grounded me and made me feel at home again for a second. Yeah, I had some nice garbage. I had same day. Oh my gosh, I miss it so bad. There's this pizza place that I really liked. That I genuinely wish they would mail their pizzas out to me in Kokiri Village so I could have it. My favorite, I tried a few over the course of that trip, but of the 3 slices that I tried, my favorite was a mushroom pizza. It had a bunch of mushrooms on it. And it was delicious. Oh my god, it was delicious. It was amazing. It was the best pizza I've ever had. It looked kind of like this. I genuinely think it should be illegal to make good pizza like this and not send it to Kaelix. Like, I think they should start a chain. They should go international. There is a very reasonable chance that I'll never have this pizza again, and I think it's gonna haunt my dreams. But yeah, it was so good. So good. Oh my goodness. Same day, I believe, I actually went to visit the Word friend who really loved the word games. Because he also is, unfortunately, he's also employed, but he works from home. So he's a bit more available to hang out. So I went to see him. And for dinner that day, I had his home cooking. It was like, oh, if you want to come over, Kaelix, I'm actually cooking my dinner right now. I could actually make enough for the 2 of us. Honestly, I probably won't be able to finish it on my own anyway, so I'd appreciate your help. I was like, awesome. So yeah, I went to his place and I had a, here, I'm trying to draw the bowl. It was really good. Oh, he was such a good cook. And he was super humble about it. He was like, yeah, I'm not actually very used to cooking for myself, but this is something I'm trying to get into lately. You know, we're all around the same age. We're all kind of figuring out this adult stuff as we go. But he was so good. It was like very, very yummy. He made me some carbonara. I don't know how best to draw this, but I'm just gonna try to give you the vague colors and impressions here. Yeah, he made some carbonara from scratch. Oh, whoops. Can you guess what I did? I drew on the wrong layer. That's what I did. Okay. And it was so good. And as we ate, we reflected on the previous few days that we spent. It was actually really nice because this friend in particular, the word friend, he's somebody that I consider a good friend, but I actually did not have much time in the past hanging out with him one-on-one. He's somebody that I mostly hung out with in group contexts, including like with like driver/job friend that I mentioned earlier, right? So it was really, really nice, and it made me really, really happy to have like a one-on-one sit down over multiple hours and to like share a private meal with him and get to know him a little better. I don't know if you've ever had that kind of situation with a friend or not, but I highly recommend taking the initiative to break that ice if you can, because it's really nice when you get through like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a very nice evening. I liked it a lot. We had a really nice conversation, and the food was delicious. And it was actually, I forgot to mention this, we took like a long walk first, actually. When I was like, hey, are you free this evening? He was like, oh, I'm about to take my walk, actually, I think is how that went. I'm about to take my walk if you'd like to join me. We can meet here and then walk for a while and then go back. I was like, awesome. So yeah, we took a nice long walk. I caught up on like some of the goings on in his recent life, his work aspirations, stuff like that. I got some drama. You know, I love my gossip. Yeah, I got a little bit of gossip here and there along the walk. Got some stuff that was neither of our business, but I learned anyway. Yeah, I got some chisme. I got my chismosa virus in. Got my chisme in. You know, I got the chismosa virus, so I can't help but be nosy. So when he breathed the vaguest mention of something in somebody else's life going on, I was like, ah. So yeah, I got to learn some drama, some tea, very refreshing. And we punctuated that long walk of gossip and catching up with a delicious meal at his home. And it was very nice. And shining achievement here. I challenged myself after we finished the meal. Generally, everybody wants to hold Kaelix's hand because he's very bad at navigating urban architecture. He sucks. Like, he's great in the passenger seat of a car for a rural road trip, you know, out of bounds kind of road trip. I'm really good at like staying on top of it for, I say really good. I'm decently good at, you know, telling you to stay on the right side of the road or like telling you when a turn is coming up, stuff like that. I can find my way around a forest if I need to, depending on how crazy it is. But I'm really bad at like developed cities. I'm bad at anything like that. I'm just not used to it. I don't have experience with it. I'm bad at buildings. I'm bad at airports. I'm bad at hospitals, schools. I get lost. So everybody wants to hold Kaelix's hand. Everybody wants to lead me where I need to go. But this time when he was like, all right, Kaelix, do you want help getting back? I said, no, sir. I'm going to do it myself. He's like, all right. Well, send me your location just in case. Yeah, I had his, so he had my location on GPS just in case I entered an emergency. Yeah, I made it back with no issues. I navigated all by myself. The whole day, might I add. The whole day, because I went and I ran some errands, right? I ran some errands. I went shopping for some things. Had some sights to see myself. And I got everywhere I needed to be with no assistance whatsoever that day. It was awesome. Yeah, I felt so grown. Because that's one of my bigger weaknesses and insecurities, is that I'm really, really bad at directions. I get lost all the time, and I've become a really big inconvenience to my friends and loved ones. Thankfully, I'm surrounded by people that are more than happy to help me figure things out and to find my way wherever I need to go, but I don't like that. I want to do it myself. I want to be better at it, you know? So let's see, what else did we do that week? I will say, this collection of little doodles will be totally incomplete without two things. There are two things that I did on this trip that were huge. Huge things. Like life goals and milestones that I wanted to break through, and I did it. However, I cannot tell you about either of them, is the thing. So this drawing will be incomplete. I'm at a place with these where I'm unsure if it's better to never tell you this, or if it would be better to tell you this only after a considerable amount of time has passed. But for now, I cannot safely tell you about these two things. And I realize how frustrating that is, right? But I cannot tell you quite yet. Yeah, I cannot tell you quite yet. However, I may tell you someday, if you're willing to wait. I don't know when, and it may be never. But yeah, I cannot tell you quite yet. But I will tell you that I went and did two things on this trip that I have been wanting to do for many years. And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to enjoy it, because as much as I love new things, I'm also kind of bad at new things sometimes. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was very magical and it was beautiful. I cried both times, and it was super awesome. And that's all that I can tell you for now. Yeah, I may give you the full story in the future, after some deliberation and some wait. I appreciate your patience. But I can tell you about some other things that I did while I was in the city. Let's see. I went out for karaoke with some of my friends. This particular group of friends, I'm recalling each person that was there. This was my first time meeting everybody at this particular joint. Like when we went out for karaoke, every single person in that room, it was my first time meeting them this trip. So it was super awesome, because these are friends, some of them that I've had for many years. Years and years, and never met any of them, because we all live at in different parts of the world. But a couple of them were willing to travel out and see me while I was in town, and then another one was there for something else anyway. So it was like a very nice coincidence. But yeah, we went out for karaoke. It was a super nice place. The vibes were just right. Everybody is like a really fun time to be around, and almost everybody was willing to sing. There's one guy in the room who's a really good singer, but he would not sing. You could not get him to sing. He was too shy to put a song in. So you had to like force him, be like, sing this song with me, and then he might do it. Like, he just would not sing. You could not get this guy to sing. But he was a really good time. He reacted really visibly to everybody else's singing, which was really funny. He had this thing he would do. He did it a lot when I was singing too, where if you sang something that was particularly high or difficult, here, I'll draw this scene. I'll draw it. Let's see. I'll draw it over here. So let's, here, we'll say this is me, right? This is me. I've got my, I'm sitting, whoa, I don't know how to draw this. I'm sitting on the chair. I got my karaoke mic going, right? All right, so I got my... This is a little weird doing this without sketching it first, but it's okay. We're vibing. Maybe if I do the head first. Maybe I could do like this. All right. Yeah, I'm lounging. I got my arms spread out on the chair. And I got my other arm holding the mic, right? Yeah, okay, I see the vision. I see the vision now. I actually have this thing where I don't know how to describe this. I'm gonna try my best to draw it in larger form right here. When I hold a microphone, I hold it kind of weird, actually. I don't know if you've ever seen this, because I primarily, in my karaoke streams, I use standing microphones. But when I hold microphones, I have a habit where I'll actually grab it. How can I describe this? Maybe this can feed your imagination a little bit for the day that I do a handheld microphone instead. I think most people will hold the microphone around here, right? They'll grab they'll grab this part right here. What I do is I wrap 2 fingers right around the edge here. And then I got the rest of my fingers out like this. This is how I hold microphones. Does that make sense? This is flipped horizontally because I primarily use my right hand because I'm right-handed. Yeah, that's how I hold microphones. I wrap my index finger and my thumb around the edge right where the ball starts here. And that's how I hold microphones most of the time. Yeah, if you can imagine that. Is it comfy? Yeah, I don't know, it just makes sense. That's just how I hold it. And then I'm very nonchalant, and I feel like it looks kind of cool. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool when I do it. So that, but you didn't hear that from me. I'm not the one that said it. Okay, somebody else said it was cool. Yeah, I got my microphone here. And I'm singing up a storm. You see my vision? Am I cooking? Okay, maybe like this. Okay. And I'm just singing. I'm just vibing. I'm trying to remember what I wore that night. I think I wore my compression shirt because it was kind of cold. And I had my jacket, but it was off when we were singing. Because it got kind of hot inside. Or no, I'll do the shading on the inner leg. Like this. Yeah, I'm singing. I'm singing over here. So the friend that would not sing anything, he was on the other side. Like this. Right? And anytime I would sing like a high note or like I'd do a trill or something that was more like, I guess, complex or difficult, he had this thing where he would go like... He would sit forward in his chair. Hold on. I'm trying to think of how to draw this guy. Okay. He would kind of lean forward so that he's no longer fully in his seat. Like his butt is a little bit in the air. And he would like... I'm trying to think of how to do this. I don't have quite as much technique as I would benefit from to get this idea across. He would do his hands like this. Almost in like claw forms. And he would... like this. Does that make sense? Like he would extend his arms forward and do claw hands, and he'd go like, ah, like he wouldn't make sounds, but like it looked like he'd be like moaning. Does that make sense? He'd be like, oh, like come here, almost. It was so funny. It was so funny. It was like have you ever seen that video, or not video, that photo? This is an old photo. I think it might have been Louis Armstrong that was playing. It was some brass jazz musician. And then it was a photo of the audience at the edge of the stage, and they're all just like moaning and groaning, and their faces are just contorted in pleasure and excitement. He does that in real life. He does it anytime somebody would sing something high or interesting or cool. It was so funny. It cracked me up so bad. I had to like look away from him while I was singing because it would make me nervous and it would make me laugh. It was so funny. Yeah, that was a funny moment. There were a few others here, but this is the specific scene that I'm gonna use to describe this experience. So yeah, he totally made up for the fact that he would never sing. He totally made up for it just by being such a funny listener. Just every time anybody would do something cool, he'd be like he'd lunge forward from his seat, and he would claw his hands. It was so funny. It was so freaking funny. Oh my goodness. And then I got me over here. And then I'll just do like this color for everything else. No, I'll separate it. I'll do like this. No, it's too dark. Like this. Too dark. Like this. Yeah. Okay. Almost done. Yeah, it was a really fun night. I sang a number of fun songs. I sang a number of challenging songs. Highlights of the night. I sang My Way. That's something you've heard me sing before, I think. I'm trying to think of... there was another one that I did not mention to you. Bakuretsu Aishiteru. That song has been in my head like non-stop since it dropped. So I sang that one too. That was really fun. I got several of these out of him during that song. It was so funny. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. It cracked me up so bad. I'll do the chairs in brighter color, actually. We'll do like this. What else did I sing? There was one song that was particularly challenging that I want to tell you about, but I also plan to sing it in a karaoke stream at some point in the future. So I'm going to keep it secret that I can sing this song because I practiced it a bunch. It's not particularly hard, but it's a little challenging. Like, it's not normal karaoke song. But yeah, I whipped that one out for the first time after practicing it for a karaoke stream a bunch. I whipped it out for the first time with this group, and I felt pretty cool. I felt pretty cool doing that. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, in the future, when I do inevitably sing it, I'll tell you that it was that one, if I remember. Yeah, that was my karaoke night, and that was really fun. That night we had some food out. I got a hiccup. We had some food out as well. It was really good. We had like fried chicken with us that night. It was really good. I'm not going to draw it because I actually did not have much. I only had a couple bites, but it was very tasty. Did he do the pose doing the secret song? Oh, yes. He did it quite a few times. Basically, every time I hit the chorus. Oh, my gosh. It was so funny. He cracked me up so bad. That was one of my favorite memories of the karaoke, I think, was him just lunging forward and doing claw hands every time somebody sang something interesting. Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. He cracked me up. He cracked me up. He was funny. Yeah, it was a really good time meeting him. It was a good time meeting everybody. Yeah, that in particular really made me laugh. What else did I do that I can tell you about? It's unfortunate because genuinely, like, a significant portion of this screen could be taken up by the things that I can't tell you about yet, but I'll tell you in the future. Maybe. No promise. Subconscious thing? I feel like it was partially subconscious, but he definitely knew he was doing it, right? Like, he had to know. Let's see. I took a nice walk in the park at night with my host friend, and that was really, really good. I mentioned before, I really love spooky things. I love things that are a little creepy and a little unsettling. I love, specifically, my favorite flavor of creepy and unsettling is a place or a thing that is generally in massive use by a lot of people. Things like a park or a store or a house, but due to the time of day or due to the passage of many years, it is no longer in use by these people anymore. That's my favorite thing. I love that. I love the uncanny vibe of something that should have people in it, but does not anymore. And this park was one of them. We'd gone to this park a couple times in the past in the day, and it was super bustling and fun. Lots of people walking, doing stuff, playing with their kids, etc., walking their dogs. But this time we went late at night on the walk to a dinner that we had. And it was, oh my gosh, it was oh so spooky, and I loved it so much. Here's the thing, despite loving it a lot, it's a little too scary for Elmo. I'm not gonna do it by myself, you know? So I was very thankful to have my friend there with me so that I could have a fun late night park adventure. One particular highlight was here, I'll try to recreate a photo that he took of me. It was kind of creepy. There was one spot in the park. I'm trying to think of, perspective is kind of hard for me to do on paper, but I'll do my best. It was like this kind of scene. So there's the dirt path. I'm gonna give you another dirt path moment here. And then there was, this should be darker and more desaturated like this. There was all the trees and stuff. Grass on the sides. Thinking emoji. I'm trying to think of how best to do this. Maybe if I blend it with some blue in here. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. There was this one particular moment. Oh. I keep pushing buttons that I'm not used to and messing up my screen. I urgently need to learn how this tablet works. And then the path continued kind of this way, I guess. But you couldn't see it through all the trees. There was one moment in particular where there was this spot that was lit by a single lamp. Wait, hold on. I'll do it brighter and more blue. We'll do like here. It was lit by a single lamp. Or no, we'll do it in the distance, because that's kind of how it looked. The lamp was a little far away from the perspective that my friend had. So the lamp is here. And there was like a glow to the surrounding area. So what we'll do is we'll brighten this here. And likewise, I'll brighten this here. But just this one little area was lit and the rest of it was super dark. And in the distance, it was a really foggy night too. In the distance, I was standing there. And I tried to, he was like, all right, take as creepy a photo as possible, right? Like that's what we wanted to do. So I was standing man emojiing. In the distance. And I think I had my hat on that night, so I was like extra anonymous and creepy. I looked like this. It was so scary. It was so scary. It was so scary. It was so scary. And there was, oh wait, hold on. Maybe if I do it like this. I was like vaguely obscured by the fog that was over the area. And then to finish this off, what I can do is I can do, whoa, a little too large. This will make sense in a moment. Then I'll do some blue. Then I'll do some purple. Okay, and then this. It was like this. This is what it looked like. Oh, it was so creepy. I loved it so much. Yeah, it was awesome. That was a highlight. I took a very creepy photo by the lamp. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was very nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can talk about some food again. It's been an episode or two since the last meal that I shared, right? That morning, rewinding a little bit. That morning, I think this is I'm kind of losing track of which day was which, but honestly, it's fine. It doesn't really matter which day I did what. You can just kind of fill in the blanks yourself. But this morning, this was the morning of the dinner that I'll tell you about in a minute, but this was employed friend, so he was having his job. I ran some errands in the morning again / afternoon, and I had a very delicious. Whoa. Let me zoom in a little bit. I wanted to experiment with something to see if I could drink it without issues. Because as you may know, I am infamously intolerant of a number of fruits, unfortunately. I decided to be brave and try this shake. There was this place I went to for some errands that also had some shakes available. And on this day, I tried... Oh, oops. This brush. On this day, I tried a banana smoothie. That's right. My greatest enemy. I was curious. You know, on occasion, even knowing that I'm intolerant of these things, like knowing I cannot eat these things without some discomfort, sometimes I have a little bite anyway. Just to see, check in. Where am I? Where am I with it? Is my allergy really bad? Is it manageable? Is it just not present at all? I don't think my allergy will ever truly go away, but I learned little things about how to deal with it every day. For example, I can have bananas if they're cooked. I can have bananas if they're cooked first, with no issues. So I was like, okay, maybe I can have this, and it'll be fine. This was a banana smoothie with oats in it and some other ingredients, and I had no issues at all. I do not believe these bananas were cooked, so I don't know why it was fine, but yeah, it was really good. It was delicious. Yeah, it was amazing, in fact. It was kind of funny. I really wanted my host friend to try it, and I asked him if he wanted one. He said, "Yes, I want one." So I went right back in there after I had already walked out and finished my smoothie, and I need you to picture me standing at the counter, basically slurping the tiniest little drops of the smoothie at the bottom. Like, you know that sound when you're sucking a straw and there's nothing left in it? And I'm like, "Hey, can I get another one of these?" And she said, "Oh, you really liked it, huh?" But I was actually getting it for my friend. Yeah, that was a funny moment. That was a funny little moment where she thought that I really liked it and wanted a second one for myself. Yeah, he liked it too. I dropped it off at his place, and it was awesome. Yeah, so that's one thing I started my day with was that, and that was very good. I also had another slice of this for brekkie, but that morning it was a different flavor, though I don't remember what flavor it was. Could not tell you. Yeah. Oh, you want some more? That's basically what she said. She looked at me with like she almost seemed complimented, but also a little judgmental. She was like, "Oh, you want two?" And honestly, it might actually be a little unhealthy to have too much of that, because banana is like packed full of a lot of the stuff you need, but you can have too much of those things. But yeah, I started my day with a banana smoothie, and it was really good. I had a nice long walk. I love my walks, and I love walking with destinations. I took care of like a super important work-related errand that I will not tell you about today, but I may tell you about in the future. But it's not something that interesting. It's kind of boring, but yeah, it's still more interesting if I wait till later to tell you, or if I just don't tell you, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I was running some errands. One of them work-related. Had a nice long walk in the process. It was awesome. It was awesome. Then I hung around at his place for a bit. I think this was one of the mornings that I called you as well. So you may remember that I was taking care of his cat while I was there. Just any time that I was in the apartment and he wasn't, I would I'd look after his cats. One of us had to feed them at like just a general hour area. Actually, no, I think this was the evening that I called you, rather. I can't remember for sure. But like I said, my days are getting a little mixed up. Once we get past like the camping, glamping trip, everything becomes a blur in my mind. Yeah, it was really nice. Very sweet cat. Very fun time. I like looking after animals, so it was kind of refreshing. What else is there? Oh yeah, the dinner. So I mentioned that we had a nice long walk through the park. This is on the way. We could have gotten there a lot faster, but we decided to take the scenic route because I really wanted to walk in the park again at night, and he was super down to do it. We went to this place where I had the most expensive meal of my entire life, and it was delicious, but I don't think I want to do that ever again. Unless I'm like trying to butter somebody up for some important reason or something like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was ludicrously expensive. It is not at all what I personally value food based on, but it was very nice. It was very nice. Like it was an insanely like, oh my gosh, the price tag at the end of this meal. Oh my god, I think it's the most expensive thing I spent anything on this entire trip. Even more expensive than the belt. And I insisted on footing the bill before I saw what the bill was. And then when I saw the bill, there was part of me that was like, maybe we should have split this. but I had already doubled down. I had already doubled down on the fact that I would be doing it. I won the bill fight. But yeah, while I was there, you may notice that there's a bit of a trend in mushrooms lately. I really love mushrooms. I'm in a very mushroom time of my life. For dinner that day, I had the most decadent, like, indulgent pasta ever. Oh my gosh. It was a very creamy mushroom pasta. I don't know how best to draw this. It was ravioli specifically. Whoa, I think this is the best way to do this. Yeah, I had some ravioli. It was so good. Cream and mushrooms just all throughout. It was so delicious. And then, out of curiosity, I decided... Actually, wait. It'll be better if I draw the rest of this before I draw that on. I guess I will do this. Yeah, okay. So it was super creamy. About this color. No. About this color. No, not quite. Almost there, though. Like, around here. Yeah, okay. Super creamy and delicious. Oh, it was nice. It was like a nice cheesy white sauce. Yes, creamy cheesy white sauce. The mushrooms were just perfectly arranged. It was a just delicious profile overall. It smelled amazing. Oh my gosh, it smelled amazing. It looked amazing. It looked about 10 times more expensive than it was, so that justifies something, I guess. Just super delicious. And then, on top, I had something for the first time. I tried a new thing. Yeah, that's right. On top, there were shavings. I'm gonna draw it like this. Or no, maybe more like this would be better. 1 second. Yeah, on top of it, I mentioned that this is the most expensive meal I've ever had. There were little shavings of truffle. This is my first time having truffle. Because on my last trip, back in January, my last vacation that I took somewhere, I had truffle oil for the first time, and that was new. This is my first time having truffle, like the actual mushroom, like actual truffle, rather than concentrated truffle oil. It was good. It was good. Semicolon, however, comma, I will never pay for it ever again. I'm never doing that again. It was really good. Oh my gosh, it was really good. But I do not think it was price tag good. Does that make sense? Like the cost of the truffle? I did not know that it was worth that amount to add it on. I feel like I may have enjoyed my pasta just as much without it. But I'm glad that I tried it. And I feel like it was the perfect setting to try it with, right? We'll do like this color maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I had truffle for the first time. I also tried a new alcohol. You know, I'm very new to drinking in general, and I don't drink very much. This is more like a dining type drink anyway. This was not like a drink recreationally kind of thing. And this is also ludicrously expensive. It was... On the side, I had a glaze. Whoa. Like one of these type glasses. I can draw this. They barely filled the cup. Classic, like, artistic, elegant style that you'd expect from these establishments. With the most subtle amount of, I think it was a Chardonnay, is what it was called. I talked to a sommelier for the first time, and he said it paired well with this, so. Maybe a little bit more orange, like this. Yes. Oh my gosh. The most ludicrously expensive thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was delicious and it was amazing. I don't want to do that ever again. But it was a very nice first, and I could not have picked a better friend to do it with. It was awesome. Yeah, I don't want it to sound like, oh, I spent a bunch of money and I want to complain about it. Yeah, no, it's not quite like that, but I fully recognize just how, like, bananas this is. Yeah, it was a very nice, interesting experience. Yeah. That was a new one for me. I had never done that before. Drink until it finished. Yeah, I was not wasting a drop of that. Trust and believe. When I saw the price tag on that, I was like, I'm not leaving until this cup is clean. I'm wiping it down with my tongue. This plate too. Genuinely, I actually had just little enough shame when the waitress was coming and cleaning up. I was like, oh man, I almost have the nerve to start licking this plate. And she said, oh, do you want another slice of bread? And I said, yes, I do. I actually got like a slice of bread specifically to get the last of the pasta sauce up because of the price tag on it. I was not wasting the smallest crumb of this meal. I was not wasting any of it. I would not accept such a thing. I was not walking away until these plates were cleaned. Yeah, it was clean. The plate you might as well just go ahead and put more food on it and serve the next guy. Like, don't even bring it to the dishwasher. Like, it's fine. It's cleaned. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really good. I liked it a lot. I'm trying to think of other meals that I had while I was there. A different day, I went to Korean barbecue. Now, I have gone to self-serve barbecue places before. Like on previous trips, even before I started this gig, I had gone to things like that. I don't know about Korean barbecue in particular. And honestly, I think in the States, a lot of the ones that you'll encounter are actually fusion places. Like there was one I went to in the past that I think was meant to be more Japanese, but they had a lot of Korean and Chinese food options available as side dishes to pair with the meat. Things like that. But yeah, this one was specifically Korean and it was really interesting. Really nice, really delicious. I don't have a very strong palate for meat in general, especially red meat, but I enjoyed it. More than anything, I enjoyed the conversation, but yeah, we got like the big. Here, I'll draw just a little bit of this because all you really need to see is my plate, right? I had a little plate here, and I would put little chunks of whatever they served. Oh no, wait, this is the place where. Oh yes, I learned of a new way that people can do Korean barbecue sometimes, and I've learned that I really, really love it. I love it a lot more than what I was used to. So in the past, whenever I've gone to self-serve barbecue places, like for other things and, you know, just other trips, what I'm used to is that you put the food on the grill, right? You cook it here, and now it's cooked. So you pull it off, and you just bring it to your plate, and you eat it by itself, right? That's what I'm used to. At this place, they had a side where you could put, like, they had a bunch of lettuce. Just a bunch of lettuce here. And what you would do is you would put the lettuce on your plate first, and then you would take the food from the grill, and you would put it in the middle of the lettuce, and you would take, like, a side thing. Like, they had kimchi that you could put on there. I'd throw on some kimchi. They had, like, sauce in little tubes that you could put on there. I put a little of that in here. It was so good. And then you close the lettuce around like a lettuce wrap. It was so good. I had never heard of that before. That was a new experience for me, but I loved it a lot. Yeah, I liked that a lot more. Like mixing the meats together and like adding in the sides and stuff and wrapping it all in lettuce as like a fused meal. That was so good. Is that the right way to eat it? See, I had never had that before. Like I said, I had only gone to self-serve barbecue places of different categories and varieties. I'd never been to one where they served lettuce at the table for you to wrap your stuff in. Yeah, I had never heard of that before. That was totally new for me. But I liked it a lot. I liked it way more, personally. I'm sure that there are like a billion good ways to do it, but that way is my favorite that I've done it so far. It was awesome. Highly recommend if you've never done it that way. If you're interested in going to a place like this in the future, maybe ask if they have lettuce. It was awesome. Super delicious, super yummy. This group that I went with was super fun as well. So we had lots of good opportunities to joke and laugh and talk. We talked a little bit about work, which means I can deduct this one on my taxes. This meal was officially tax deductible by about 30 minutes in because we talked about work, which is pretty nice. Yeah, that made it a business meal. And I think it was just high class enough to count. Yeah, we love tax deductible meals. Obviously, the money is still going to disappear from your account when you have the meal, but you don't have to be taxed on it if it's business related. So, should have talked about work at the truffle pasta place. We did talk about it a little, maybe. Though I think it was more specifically in his favor than mine, like talking about his work. So I don't know, but I did talk about a little bit of my work. So maybe that's also tax deductible. I think so. I think it should count. I can be a little shy when it comes to like the more adventurous stuff with taxes. I can be very scared to deduct certain things, but I think that should count. Yeah, I think that should count. Let it be known I took like 10 pictures of that receipt, so I've got it on standby. Table here, and then a similar color here for the stove. Yeah, super delicious meal. That was a really good one. Wrapping all the like meat and stuff in lettuce. I loved it a lot. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. I want to do it at every KBBQ place I go to forever after. And then I'll add in some more meat here, just to finish the composition a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. Throw in some of this, some of this, some of this, some of this, this. Okay. Very tasty. Yeah, that's how I want to have it forever now. It was really good. What else did I have? I went to my first Szechuan restaurant as well. I had Szechuan food for the first time. I'd heard about it in passing on occasion, but I had never had it before this. And it was really, really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, something to know about Szechuan, if you are unfamiliar, and correct me, fact check me if I'm wrong, because I'm still very new to it, is that rather than spicy food and spicy sauce and seasoning and stuff, they do numbing food, which is a little different from spicy. Like, it's vaguely similar and adjacent to spicy, but it's distinct and different. This was a group of 4 of us that we went out this night. Different group from all these previous ones, so I can't really relate it to any of the other memories that I'm sharing with you right now. But yeah, very fun group of 4. And we kind of split off into pairs, actually, for the conversation at the table. I don't know why that happened. It just happens sometimes, I guess. Yeah, it was mostly me talking to the person to my right, and then across the table, those 2 were talking to each other the whole night. But yeah, hold on. We had an approach to this meal. I love meals like this, where the table has multiple things on it, and you you share as a group rather than each person getting their own singular thing. Yeah, this night we had an approach where we ordered for the table rather than for the person. So there were quite a few little things here to choose from. Lots of little spicy things. I say spicy, like numbing spicy things to pick off. I'm trying to remember what else there was. There were some noodles to have here. There was... Oh my gosh. Me and the guy to my right, we destroyed... I think it was asparagus. We basically demolished it by ourselves. The other 2 were not touching it. It was so good. But the highlight for me for this one, the whole thing was a first for me. I had never had most of these things, but my favorite... My plate over here, right? Kaelix corner. Was... There was, how do I describe this? I guess I'll just draw it as best as I can. You know how a lot of East Asian foods, you're served with chopsticks, but also a spoon if it's more soupy? Like you get like a large soup spoon. Something I had for the first time while I was at this place was a soup dumpling. I've had a number of dumplings over the years. I love dumplings of all kinds. This was my first time having a soup dumpling. I had never had a soup dumpling before. And oh my god, it's amazing. Xiaolong bao. Oh my gosh. Delicious. I loved it so much. Highlight of the meal for me was the soup dumplings. It was amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Where has it been all my life? Phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Like, split the seas delicious. Tomodachi life, it's so good. Like that tier of delicious for me. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. That was another one of my favorite meals of the entire trip as far as like the food alone goes. Company was really nice too. Like the people that we were with, but people that I was with, I should say. But yeah, the food, oh my god. And I will say, I really liked the numbing spice as well. It was really interesting. Very unique and new for me because I had never had it before, right? Like new sensation. Like my water had flavor to it that it did not before I had the numbing spice. But it was good. It was good. It was interesting. It amplified like the flavor of all the things at the table. It was amazing. Yeah, I loved it a lot. I give it 100 flowers and more. Color in my little soup spoon. And then my humble little xiaolong bao, my soup dumpling. Brighter color, actually. It was more like this. Oh my goodness, I loved it. It was amazing. I want more. I want like 10 of these. So good. Oh, so good, so good, so good. Filled with what? It was soup with I think pork in it. Yeah, it was pork and soup. I don't know what kind of soup, but it was good. Oh, it was so good. And it was the kind where my friend showed me how to eat it. Because he had it before. What you do is ideally you puncture it a little bit so that the soup can drain into the soup spoon, and then you drink it up. Some people just pop the whole thing in their mouth and just eat the whole thing like that, like break it open in their teeth when their mouth is closed. I tried both, and I liked both. I don't know what my favorite way to do it is, but I think poking it was... Yeah, I think poking it is a little bit safer because then it cools down as the air touches the soup. Yeah, it was really, really good. It was really good. Oh, it was so good. Oh, I miss it. I want more. It was amazing. It was so good. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. This is a dangerous, dangerous stream for me. I'm already fed. I've already eaten for the night. I shouldn't get another meal until like late at night if I'm up late working again. But I'm so hungry thinking about all these delicious foods. I've got some noodles over here. There was some like caramelized meat over here. It was really good. I think it was chicken. It might have been pork though. There was another dumpling over here left in the little container. And then there was this super, like this, I think, genuinely, I think it had the most spice on it, like the numbing spice, the asparagus. Like, I had a little of it on most of the food that we had, but the asparagus, once I started destroying that, it's like the whole world had a new flavor to it. I would breathe in and I'd feel the air on my tongue and I'd taste it. It was so interesting. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. And it was a relief too, because I will say this, I can handle spicy food in general. My problem is that my mouth loves it, but my intestines do not love it. My intestines have a hard time. And the other thing is that, you know, at one restaurant, let's see, we'll describe this like this. We'll say we're at restaurant A right now, right? Restaurant A's menu. They have spicy chicken, right? And then restaurant B also has spicy chicken. They both got spicy chicken, right? And these dishes are exactly the same amount of spicy at these two restaurants, right? They both make it the exact same way. These are two different restaurants, but they're both making the exact same meal, right? In this hypothetical scenario. Despite this, restaurant A, their menu looks like this. One second. Their menu looks like this. Right? But restaurant B, they look like this. Like they got level 3. That's the thing that confuses me. Does that make sense? And the thing that makes me nervous to have spicy food when I'm eating out is that the menu does not tell me at all how spicy something actually is. There's a gradient to what I can handle. Like I love spicy food and I can eat it, but too spicy is gonna have my guts churning and I'm gonna have to take a detour to like 10 toilets on the way home. But they don't have any objective ranking of how spicy something is. So when I look at the menu, I'm like, great, this tells me nothing. Yeah, everybody has an entirely different scale. And even within like the same kind of cuisine, like you could go to 2 Szechuan restaurants and they'd have this exact situation, right? Where there are 2 dishes that are equally spicy, but they rank them differently. It varies by restaurant. And the only way to know is by trying it. Yeah, to get that idea across. So I'm very cautious and very nervous whenever I go out to eat and the group is interested in spicier stuff. Because I love spicy, but I never know if it's going to be like end me forever spicy or if it's going to be a delicious meal spicy. The only way to find out is to take the bite. But it was great. I had no issues. It was delicious. It sat well. It digested perfectly. I had a nice, wonderful walk and I got home and then I went to the bathroom like a while later and there were no troubles at all. It was great. Yeah, it was delicious. I loved it. Even though several of the things we ordered were like levels 2 and 3. on their menu. uh, yeah. I'm trying to think of what else we had. The group that I went out to karaoke with, a few of us, because we formed the full group later in the night when we went out to karaoke, but some of us met in a smaller group earlier in the day, just based on everybody's availability. We went out for ramen, and I had some delicious ramen. Here, I can draw that too. I can draw you my ramen. This is very typical ramen bowl. This was one of those restaurants where it's like single serve, like you don't sit at a table. They have like the little windows. You know those places? So I had my own little private partition. It reminded me in the moment. I remember when I ate it, I was thinking of when I was in school. Because when we would have our final exams in elementary and middle school, they would give us these little cardboard partitions to blockade off our test so that nobody else could see it, right? It's kind of like that. Had the ramen in the middle. There was some ham in there. Felt like ponyo. Hamuski. There were a bunch of vegetables in here. There was some spring onion, which I really love. Nengi. Green onion, rather, I think it's called. Super delicious. Just very yummy broth as well. Yeah, it was awesome. And even though the restaurant was meant for like single serve, like you only eat by yourself and you want to eat relatively quietly so you don't disturb anybody, we were actually the only ones there. So we were able to kind of talk over each other, like over to each other's little cubicles, and be a little bit louder than you normally would be in a restaurant like this. So that was pretty nice. I did not have to sacrifice conversation because there was nobody else there. Because normally I would be very strict about that. I don't want to cause a scene and I don't want to go against the intended vibe of the establishment, you know? Yeah, because it was super empty, we were able to talk and enjoy it without any issues. And it was super yummy. Served in a bowl kind of like this. And then I can do slightly paler color. Oops. Like this, maybe. Got the noodles here. Some trace veggies. Get my ham in here. Just very good. Delicious ramen. 10 out of 10. And then, let's see, what else did I have? Thinking emoji. I want to fill up this whole canvas. Oh, actually, hold on. This is unrelated and this goes back a little bit, but I want to tell you about this too because it was really funny. So the friend that I visited who made me his homemade carbonara, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move these over here. Make room. I'm gonna move this over here. Get this down here. And we're gonna rearrange our canvas a little bit. So the friend that I went to his apartment. He's the word friend, right? He loves words. He loves poems. He loves writing. Very fun stuff. He has a fridge, as many apartments have, right? He's got a refrigerator to keep his cold things in. And on that fridge, he has a series of magnets. You may have seen magnets like these. You know how some people will have fridges with like a lot of letters, like letter magnets, so you can spell out basic short words and stuff? He had a twist on that. In his apartment, he has a fridge with like word magnets. So rather than letters, for example, each individual magnet will have an entire word. Like one of the words that I saw and that I used on there was message. Like this, right? Had a bunch of magnets like this. There were some shorter magnets that were part of words, like suffixes, like ly. Like happily could be, or I guess not happily, but you know, sadly you could take the word sad and the suffix ly and create the word sadly with them. And he has like a rule where if you enter his apartment for longer than just a few minutes, you have to leave a poem there. You have to take the word magnets and form a poem. And I had actually seen this fridge in photos before, because he had shown me poems that other friends, like mutual friends of ours, had made and left on the fridge. But it was finally time for me to make one. Are you ready to find out what my poem was? I worked on it for like 15 minutes while he was finishing the carbonara. All right, this is my poem. Are you ready? Oh, whoops. That's an interesting button. Wait, can I rotate the canvas? Oh, I can rotate the canvas with my tablet. That's so weird. Anyway. Oh, I just changed my pen size too. There's so many shortcuts on this that I don't know about. Anyway, let me finish this poem so that you can see it in all its glory. This was my poem. Had a fat lunch. Drastic, babyful. Shape. And murmuring. Under heart. Is my stomach my op? My final message. That was my poem that I left on his fridge. Oh my goodness. Wait here, I can clean this up a little bit. I will say there were some unironically deep and eloquent poems on there. There were some that were super goofy. I think mine treads the line in between eloquent and goofy. Had a fat lunch, drastic babyful shape and murmuring under heart. Is my stomach my op? My final message. Yeah, that was the poem I left. I think my favorite string of words was, here, it was this one. I really liked drastic babyful shape. As a way to indicate that my stomach was full. So my belly protruded because of the meal. And I felt that it was very appropriate because it was on his fridge. Eloquent and we have, is my stomach my op? Okay, to give it to you one way, another message that was on this fridge was like, when I say eloquent, what I mean is, I guess, grammatically sound. Another message that was on here was, what did the woman say he child? Focus on deception. That's another one that somebody left. Little things like that. Super cute. Very glad I could finally participate. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what other meals I had. Oh my gosh! I had Basque cheesecake for the very first time. I had never had Basque cheesecake before this trip, but I tried it. We went to this place and they had it there, and I was like, wait, I kind of want to get one of these. And they were like, oh, we can get one to share. And we shared a Basque cheesecake, and it was amazing. And even though there were 4 of us, I ate way more than 25% of it. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Here, how can I best draw this? Wait, how would that be? That'd be like... I guess like... Gotta be more lumpy too. And it was like toasted on the outside. It gave a very deceptive appearance, because on the outside it looks all crunchy and kind of, I don't know, just grizzled and like it's been through everything. But then on the inside, oh my God. It's like the gooeyest, creamiest thing ever. Just super smooth and delicious. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, high ranking of all the things that I tried for the first time while I was here. This one's really, really high up there. Because I love cheesecake. Cheesecake is my favorite dessert in the world. I think I still prefer plain New York style cheesecake, but I really, 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 really loved this. And I want to see if I can find it somewhere else. Or honestly, this is probably way easier for me to make myself than a traditional like New York style plain cheesecake. As far as the consistency and stuff goes, I get the impression that this one is easier to make at home. So I really want to try doing that at some point. Could be nice. Yeah, it was super awesome and amazing. I loved it. It was delicious. Major highlight. Here, I'll do some of these because it was this good. You ready? Here, hold on. I have to do. I guess first off, what I should do is I should give it this. Get the plate in there. And then what I need is I need this. All right, watch this. We're gonna do one of these. We're gonna do a lighter color like this. We're gonna do an even lighter color than that here. Yeah, this gets its own little shiny segment of the canvas. It was that delicious. Then we'll do a slightly darker color. Put it throughout like here. And then finally, we'll finish it off with some little sparkles to show how delicious it was. It was amazing. Yeah, can you hear the like, oh. Oh my goodness. And that was my week, I guess. I don't know if there's anything else that I can share or that is worth sharing. I had some other things that I haven't drawn here. Some shorter meals. I had junk food a couple more times, like fast food. Because in the midst of all these new foods, I like to go back to what I'm used to, like I mentioned. I had I had some boba, and it was really good. I have solidified my belief that I really love hot boba or warm boba. Yeah, I'm okay with cold boba, which I think is the more typical way to serve it, but I really, really love warm and hot boba because then the pearls get all like juicy and smooth. Yeah, I had that. It was really tasty. Yeah, it was super good. I can't remember what else I had. I went to this Japanese style place and I got these like rolls that were really good. Very tasty. I didn't take a photo of it, unfortunately. I forgot. I locked in on the food. It was so good. Here's the real tragedy. Sometimes the food would be so good that I'd forget to take a photo for my personal journal that I would just instantly lock in on eating. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that was my trip. And then let's see. I'm trying to think if there are any other memories that I can share with you. Anything else I can draw. In the meantime, I can clean this up. I wore a number of cute outfits. This last week was actually, I say last week, but last week is in the week before this week. It was a bit of a challenge for Kaelix because I really prefer dressing for like autumn and winter. I have a very easy time making outfits that I consider very tasteful and fashionable for when it's cold. The dilemma is that when it gets warmer, it's kind of hard to apply the same like theory and technique that I've mastered for fall and winter. I have a bit of a hard time. So it was a bit of a challenge run. Yeah, I'm trying to think of an outfit of the day that I can share with you. Maybe the one that you helped me figure out. Yeah, because you did help me figure out an outfit for one day. Let's see. But I don't remember exactly which one that was. Let's see, move this over here. Get these over here. Yeah, just many little meals. Yeah, dressing for spring, summer was kind of difficult. Because I will say May, it's technically spring, but to me it's also summer in May. Summer officially starts in June, but it's already summer to me. It's already hot. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Actually, let me consult my little diary, my little digital journal. See if I can find a photo to redraw for you. Ooh, I had a really cute one that I wore one day in particular. I think I told you about it too. Yeah. I ended up going a little different than what we agreed on though, because I experimented with it a little after I hung up and I was like, actually, this looks better. Sometimes I just need to consult my options really critically. An outfit of the day that I will share with you. Let's see. Let me get this color. Okay. I guess we'll start with the head. Yeah, over here is good. So as always, I can't go out without my glasses. I need my glasses to see. So actually, in particular, I was wearing these glasses. You may recognize these from a little episode that I had not too long ago. Actually, it may be better to draw these like this. Yeah. They're kind of squarish. And then, let's see, I got my funny little ears. is kind of hard. I've never been good at doing this in single strokes. I always have to cheat digitally. But we're doing it on a non-vector layer, so I can't cheat. I just have to get it right. Come on, Kaelix. Okay. That'll work. And I got my hair. Styled my hair pretty much the same as usual. But this particular day, I actually wore a really cute snapback that I like a lot. Because it was a very sunny, warm day. So I guess this might be a better way to do it. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it was a really warm day, so I thought I might benefit from a little bit more shielding from the sun. So I wore a super cute snapback that matched my shirt really well. I guess it looks kind of like this. I don't know how best to demonstrate that, actually. Drawing this is a little hard for me. Oh, wait, maybe if I do more like this. Okay, let me do this first. Then we can just do it truly from the front. So actually, the way I styled it, because I like when the front of my hair is visible, it has a bit more of a curve to it, because the cap goes more like up rather than straight ahead. I styled it kind of like this. So from the front, you can't really see the back of it too well, but from the side, you can see it looks kind of like this. Does that make sense? Because I like when the front of my hair is visible. So I wear my caps like this. Some days I'll do it straightforward, though, if I want more coverage from the sun or whatever. Yeah, otherwise my hair was pretty much the same as usual. Had in a simple stud earring. And then, wait, let me look at this again. I'm reviewing my photo. Okay. It was a very hot, sunny day, so I did not layer as much as I initially planned to. I had, honestly, a very tight fitting, tighter than I usually would go for, but it looks kind of nice. A very tight fitting collared shirt. This one is a size smaller than I would normally wear, so it hugs my body a bit more tightly than usual. But I think if you're wearing a collared shirt by itself, it's kind of tasteful to go a size lower than usual. Just in my personal humble opinion. So, sleeves are also a little shorter as a result. And then it kind of fans out like this a little bit. Little buttons going up. Nothing on the arms. I had a little ring on, but you're not going to see it with the way I'm drawing my hands right now. And then for the pants, it was just barely visible if I lifted my arms up because the shirt would lift a little bit, but I didn't tuck the shirt in. I had high-waisted pants, so the belt was around here. And they went basically like this. I say high-waisted, but these were not actually made high-waisted. They're just several sizes larger than my size. And as a result, I can wear them high-waisted. And I think it's very like fashionable and cool for the spring. And for my shoes, I wore my sneakers. That was my OOTD. Wait, hold on. Here, I'll move this over here and then I'll color it in. Colors are where it starts to come together, I think. Okay. So for the colors, we'll start with me. I like just coloring myself in plain white. Kind of cute, I think. Let me do a bigger brush. And smaller for the arms. Okay. Which finger was the ring? I wear it on my thumbs. I switch back and forth. My ring changes hands like 10 times a day. Or more, honestly, depending on where I am or like how bored I am. Yeah, I wore my white sneakers. Maybe I should pick a slightly darker color just because then it will stand out against the background a little bit better. And then for the pants, this day in particular, I did a gray pair. And they fit me so nice. They're not my size at all, but they fit me really nicely. I like them a lot. And then, actually, hold on. I think I'll do this like blue. May help the color. Yeah, that looks more like what it looks like in real life if you add a little bit of blue rather than doing a true gray. Color theory. And then for the shirt, I mentioned that I had like 2 dark shirts and then 1 bright one. In the end, I went with one of the dark ones that had a pattern on it. Hold on. It was like maybe more like this color. Yeah, there we are. It was a dark purplish color. And it had like a white pattern on it. Like this. It kind of had the feel of like a bandana. Do you know those bandanas? But a little different. This kind of feel. Yeah, super cute. And then my hat, somewhere in between this, it was like a gray color. Super color coordinated. I liked it a lot. This was my OOTD that I assembled with your advice and your feedback. A little different than what we agreed on in the end, but you still got me where I generally wanted to be, so yeah. That's what I wore that day. I was kind of proud of it in the end. I felt very stylish. Yeah, I felt very cool. Let's see. Any other little memories that I can throw in here? Let's see. Anything else? Maybe something I got, or let me go through my digital journal one more time. Because we got a little bit more canvas space to fill here. I'm trying to think of if there are any memories I have not shared with you that I can share. Thinking emoji. I feel like that covers everything I can tell you about, pretty much. Think. Yeah, that really does cover just about everything. Yeah, I want to fill this little space so bad, though. What should I do? I know what to do. I know exactly what I'm missing, actually. I've determined the last drawing to finish our canvas. Okay. Are you ready? A little hard. Okay. I think it looked like this, right? Okay, and then I have to fill in the small details. We'll do... I got the wrong brush there. Okay. I'll throw in some of this. Need this color here. And the little buttons. Boom! Teehee. And then here, I can throw in... Keep color picking. I should have made a palette before we started, but I forgot. To round out this canvas, we can throw this over here. Oh, whoops. And I can throw in one of these. Kind of hard to do this continuously. Okay, I'll just break it up into little pieces. Oh, I just realized I'm on size 8. I should have been doing this on 6. Oops. There you go. And that can be our that can be our finished canvas, right? Oh, here, I can fill this in a little bit. We can do like this color maybe. Doesn't have to be perfect. Awesome. Have I seen it now? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those now. Yeah, apparently in my absence, you saw fit to create very emotional edits of me like I was somebody's dead wife. But do not worry. I am alive and unmarried. Ergo, I am the furthest thing possible from a dead wife. I am a living bachelor. Okay, that rounds out our finished little canvas we've got here. Let me actually... I have this little filter on it usually when I do this, but I forgot to turn off. You should be able to see it a little bit more clearly if I do this. Oh, isn't it so cute? Now, why does it look darker on OBS than it does on my screen here? Do I have a filter on here? I do. Okay, now you can see it in the colors I've been seeing this whole time. That's a little late, but I guess better late than never, right? These are the colors I've been drawing in this whole time. Oopsie. Yeah, okay. Here, we can go around now. There's me in the airport barely holding up my pants. Looking disheveled and miserable. My expensive belt. Had a nice road trip where I had many delicious meals and shared many delicious and fun and sweet moments with my dear friends. We frolicked for a little bit after we had a nice hike. It was really nice. Took a long walk. Played board games inside. Found the gateway to the underworld. I left after we got back, I left a nice little poem on my friend's fridge, and he made me carbonara. In between all of this, I had some phone calls, and it was really nice. And it was a very grounding thing that made me feel like I was home again, even when I was very far away. I assembled a cute little outfit that I wore with the help of a friend, and I felt pretty good about it. I had a karaoke night where I met some people that were totally new to me that I knew online previously vaguely, but had never met in person. Some of them I was super close to. Just very nice experience. Had a friend who just made a very dramatic exclamation face and gesture every time I sang something cool, and that was really funny. Had some more yummy meals in between all this. Took a nice scary walk in the park at night with my dear friend, and it was amazingly scary and creepy, and took a very terrifying photo of me where I looked like I had the intent to destroy somebody. Had a very expensive meal after that walk. I don't think I want to dine out that classy ever again, but it was nice to try it and feel like I was in a movie. Had Szechuan for the first time. Had a delicious banana smoothie with no allergic reaction. Had Basque cheesecake, Korean barbecue. So many fun memories. And that was my week. And now I'm home. And I scheduled all of my deadlines to be this week so that I could enjoy last week without any issues. So now I'm just exhausted. I'm pooped and I'm trying to get through everything. So I hope you don't mind that even though I'm back home now, the streams are a little spaced out. I hope that's not an issue. That being said, I think once NIJIFest is over, and once I get through the last of these deadlines by the end of this week, I should be more or less back to normal. We should be able to continue playing Silent Hill F. We should be able to continue playing Tomodachi Life. Maybe we'll start a new game. Pick up Zelda again, perhaps. Stardew Valley is on deck as well at some point soon. Yeah, many games to play. I'm due for at least one karaoke stream this month. I try to do one at least every month. So I got to figure that out soon. Yeah, I hope you can enjoy everything to come. But yeah, thank you more than ever. Thank you so much for being so patient with me in my absence. I really needed that break. I think when I planned the break, I planned it about a month and a half-ish before I left, right? I think about a month. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but about a month. I was like just on the cusp of burning out. I was like, okay, by the time this happens, I'm probably going to need a break. I'm going to be due for it then. I'm fine now, but I feel like it's going to be pretty rough. And then it was. Oh my gosh, it absolutely was. So I absolutely needed it. I entered the city looking miserable and disheveled and exhausted. And I returned to my home glowing and happy and thriving and motivated. I had so much fun. I made so many warm memories. And I tried so many new things. It was awesome. And now I'm officially ready to get back to stuff as usual. Yeah. Am I going to post these? I guess maybe I should. I'll think about it. You're free to take a screenshot, though. In fact, here, let me go ahead and... Because I don't know if I'll post it or not. But what I will do for now is I'll do this. And that way you can take a clear screenshot of it. Let me see. Wait, where did I send this? There it is. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Boom. Do you like it? Yeah, these are all the memories that I made in my time away from home. It was awesome. Like I mentioned before, I did make a couple huge memories that are not featured here, but I'll tell you about them after some time has passed. Yeah, after some time has passed, it should be safe to tell you about it. Maybe. I may never tell you. I may keep it secret forever, but I'll at least tell you a vague description of it in the future when some time has passed. Thank you for always being so patient with me. Just general travel stuff. That's a kind of a soft rule that you follow when you travel. Stretch. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, since I've gotten home, actually we can continue this talk somewhere else, actually, I believe would be nice. Yeah, how about that? We can go over here. Yeah, we can continue this talk over here. How have I been since I got home? Because I got home a few days ago. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you the story about the end of the trip. App I used to draw, I draw in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, I have Clip Studio Paint Pro. I've been thinking of upgrading to a more recent version. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got some cool features on it that I'm curious about. Yeah, I use Clip Studio Paint. That's just what I use, what I'm used to. Interested in maybe trying some others in the future, but this works exactly for what I need. I didn't tell you about the end of my trip. It got miraculously, unfortunately, unexpectedly, but also pretty nicely extended by a couple days. If you're wondering why, the story there is that my entire life of flying, granted I've flown only a limited number of times. That's more of like a recent experience, like last few years recent. But every time I've flown in the past, I check in person at the airport. That's just how I've always done it. I always check in the morning of when I get to the airport, or the day of if it's a later flight, I guess. And it's never caused me any problems. Never, there's never been any issues with that. I check in when I get there, and it's great. I learned on this trip that you're actually supposed to check in like 24 hours before you get to the airport. You're supposed to do it like the day before. And they'll send you those emails. They'll be like, hey, Kaelix, your flight's coming up. It's time to check in. I've always gotten those emails, but I always thought it was more like a recommendation. I didn't know it was necessary. Yeah, because like I said, I always checked in person, because when you check in person, you get the little printed ticket. I love analog stuff. I love printing things out. So yeah, I would always go in person, and it's never been a problem ever on any of my many flights. I guess many is an overstatement for people that actually fly a lot, but you know, most of my flights have been connections, and they're always round trips. So I've flown quite a few times before this, and never had any issues with checking in person. But yeah, this trip in particular, on my return trip home, I get to the airport, I'm trying to check in, and suddenly the guy behind the kiosk is like, okay, so I think the best we can do is to get you home either tomorrow or the day after. And I was like, what? Tomorrow? The day after? What are you talking about? I'm supposed to fly out today. And he was like, well, if you would have checked in, then we'd still have your seat. But unfortunately, your seat is no longer available. I was like, what? Yeah, I lost my seat because I didn't check in. So I had to, unfortunately, I had to extend my trip by a couple of days. I say unfortunately, but I did actually really enjoy the remaining 2 days of my trip. Yeah. Yeah, apparently if you do not save your seat by checking in early, there's a chance that you can lose it to people that do check in. I never checked in online before this, but now I know. Now I check in online every time. I say I do it, but I've only done it once. But now I will. From now on, now and forever, I will check in every single time online. Let it be known. And learn from my mistake. If you're like Kaelix and you check in person instead, you can still do it in person and get your printed ticket. You don't have to do it for the first time the morning of to get your printed ticket if you like that. Your boarding pass or whatever. You can check it online and still get it. All right? You should always check in online the night before. All right? As soon as you get the email, you check in or you might lose your seat. Learn from my mistakes. Yeah, I had a very nice 2 days. They were very uneventful. There was nothing planned. I didn't schedule to meet anybody. But I really needed those, so I spent those days resting. I had one day in particular that, because this is over the weekend, so my host friend was no longer employed. You know, he didn't have to go to work. We had one day that we generally just laid around his apartment and napped for hours. It was awesome. We were like, all right, let's just sleep a couple more hours. And then several hours passed. Yeah, it was super chill, low energy, low demand, very relaxing. So I was able to get home and decompress a bit faster than I normally would have. Yeah, very relaxing 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, and just in case you were wondering why I was away 2 days longer than I initially was supposed to be, I had to reschedule my flight because I did not check in 24 hours prior. But now I know! Now I know! Yeah. And that's my trip. That's pretty much everything there is to share. Everything I can share with you for now. But when the time comes that it's relevant, I may tell you about a couple more memories that I made. Okay. As for what comes next, rest of this week, this is very difficult to describe because I have so many things to do. There's actually a small part of me right now that wants to create a new waiting room because I'm desperate. I'm so desperate to play Tomodachi Life. I'm desperate to play it. I want to play it so bad. But it may be better to not so that I can get some work done tonight. But I could also play some Tomodachi Life. All right, here's the choice. Here's the choice. We could decide this right now. We will seal our fate in this moment. Here are my options. I have... Wait, hold on. Let me check my calendar. Let me consult my to-do list. As you may know, NIJIFest is coming up, and I am participating in the audio-visual room, which is meet and greet. So if you got a meet and greet, I will be there for that. NIJIFest this week. With that, there are some responsibilities that I have to take care of ahead of time, which means, okay, if we stream Tomodachi Life tomorrow, I will have to cut it off after about 3 or 4 hours. We can do at most 3 or 4 hours Tomodachi Life tomorrow, like super strictly because I've got an actual appointment to make. if it's tomorrow. Or if it's today, we could also play for about 3 or 4 hours, but we can do it right now. Because on the flip side, here's the deal. If we do it today, we get it sooner, but tomorrow there will be no stream in that case. What do we think? Do we think Tomodachi Life tomorrow? Or Tomodachi Life right now and nothing tomorrow? What do we think? Same but sooner? Yeah, pretty much. Would you like it today? Or would you like it tomorrow? Tomorrow? You want it tomorrow? How about my work? See, that's the thing. If we do it tomorrow, then I'll do my work tonight. If we do it today, then I'll do my work tomorrow, and there will be no stream tomorrow. Yeah, it seems like you want tomorrow. All right. I'll be responsible. Probably better to do it tomorrow anyway, because that means there's more days where I am streaming. I need to get back to streaming more consistently. This is like I think this last week and a half, 2 weeks is generally the least I've properly streamed my entire career. I don't think I've ever gone this long without consistent streams. Even in my worst work periods or sicknesses, I don't think I ever went this long. Yeah. Yeah, so we can do it tomorrow, but it'll be short, okay? It'll be hard limited. I may start Tomodachi Life at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. in that case so that we can get a little bit more time in, but I will let you know when I know. Yeah, we'll do Tomodachi Life tomorrow. It'll be short. Friday, maybe something. Maybe not. Because we'll be like primetime Niji Fest from pretty much that point onward. And it'll be super busy. And I'm gonna wanna honestly, aside from being a talent, like a liver, I'm still like there's like a viewer in me, you know, so I wanna see these things. And because I'm in the company, I get free tickets to all the shows. So I don't remember exactly what the times are for all the stage shows, but I want to see them. So yeah, I'll be watching those whenever they are. I need to work out my calendar, figure out when that stuff is going on. Yeah. And then let's see. Let me check my thing again. Saturday. Same thing. Like there may be something. If there is something, it'll be short. And honestly, I may do the morning hours EDT just so that it doesn't overlap with Niji Fest. So that way, if you are going to Niji Fest, you won't miss out on a stream. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Yeah, for this week, we're going entirely on a basis of what I feel is the best move the day of. That'll be what determines what I can handle. Is just when we get there, you know? I do appreciate your patience. Usually I like having a schedule posted ahead of time. Okay, I'm pooped. I've been sleeping so good, by the way. I'm sleeping so normally, and I need to fix it immediately. I've been waking up in the morning and going to bed at night. I need to sleep through the morning again and sleep into the afternoon so that I can be awake and alert for streams. Let's see, what else is there? Is there anything to announce? Anything to discuss? Voice pack. Oh my gosh, do you want a preview? Do you want a sample? I'll see if I can find it. I did not prepare it ahead of time, but I can play you a little sample. Let's see. Front seat voice. Kaelix Debonair. Let me go to that thread, get the most recent version. All right. Here, I'll grab you a little preview. Preview. Okay, I think I got it. So, I participated in the voice pack this month. Let me see. Is this the right? me get the right snippet going here. Let's see. Sorry, I'm locking it. I'm making sure I'm getting you a good preview here. I guess classic approach is just to do the first 10 seconds, right? Now I'll go about here. I'll go about here. So it's a little after the intro. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. So I did this month's voice pack. The theme is front seat, aka like driving, sitting in a car with somebody. I am not a driver. So in my voice pack, I wrote a script where you are the driver. I hope you can drive. Because that's the POV. Here is a preview. I took a bit more of a comedic approach with this one. I wanted it to be a little bit more silly rather than my usual serious vibe that I try to go for. So here's what we got as a preview.
What? You're here to pick me up? No. That's okay. I can get myself there just fine.
Who's this guy? And then let's see. Can I find that exact segment? Is it this one?
何? 俺を迎えに来た? いや、大丈夫。俺は自分で行けるから心配するな。本当だ。
Yeah. So that's kind of the general vibe. I did it in English and in Japanese. And it's kind of silly. Yeah, it's a bit of a sillier approach than my usual. I tried to sprinkle in some sweetness. You know, I like some sweetness in it a little bit. My Japanese is very clumsy and weak as it is right now, but I feel like I get a tiny bit stronger each time I do one of these. My hope is to improve with each one, so I hope you can enjoy it if you listen to the Japanese version. Likewise with English. I speak English confidently. I'm a native speaker, but I'm not very confident in my voice acting. I'm still trying to improve that, so I hope that... I just noticed that the preview I played for you was super quiet. Sorry about that. I hope that you can sense some impression of improvement in voice acting as well. I did my best. And hey, if you can't drive and you want me to drive, I got something for you. The EX voice. Ta-da! Yeah. In the EX voice, I actually flipped the script and created an alternate universe version of something that happens in the main voice. So if you listen to the main voice and then the EX voice, you can kind of see what would happen if you chose kind of like a different dialogue option, basically. Or if a dialogue option got like a slightly different response, pretty much. It's like an alternate version of the same day, pretty much. AU scenario. I can drive. Well, legally speaking, if there's somebody in the passenger seat who has a license, I should be allowed to drive because I got my learner's permit. But I don't know if that'll be valid for very long. Yeah, I did get my learner's permit and I did practice driving a lot. I used to practice a lot. The problem here's the problem. I'm good at road rules. I know the road rules like the back of my hand, even now, most of them. I know what every sign means. I know how to adjust the car's speed. I know how to steer it. I can control a car flawlessly. The problem is that when I'm on the road, I'm gripped with like mind-numbing perpetual panic. I'm in just a state of panicked perpetuity. I don't calm down. I try my best to keep it together and keep it inside so nobody in the passenger seat or backseat gets nervous. But if I'm driving, if Kaelix is behind the wheel, just know I'm going through it. So I don't like to drive. I can drive, but I don't like to. So I never got my license. I hate driving. I hate it. There have been so many, this is kind of like a random tangent. There have been so many Michael Jackson clips on my timeline recently, and it resurfaced one of my favorite ones. Do you know the one where he's like, I love to tour. I go through hell touring. That's me describing driving. I'm like, I love to drive, but on the inside, you know the truth, right? I hate driving. I go through hell driving. It's miserable. I don't like it. Every second of it is like pulling teeth. I don't like to do it. Yeah. But if you'd like the experience of me being behind the wheel and you being in the passenger seat, I recommend the EX voice. Something I can recommend even more confidently, if you're interested in it. I think for a limited time, they are reselling pretty much the last 1.5 years worth of voice packs. Yeah, previous ones that I did and that other people did. Going all the way back to my very first voice pack, which was Rise and Shine, like the Good Morning voice pack. I did that one. I did... What else did I do? I can't remember. I burn it from my mind the moment sales end because I get a little shy. Yeah, basically every single voice pack that I've personally ever done is on sale temporarily right now. Yeah, if you missed one, if you weren't around and you've been curious about it, I think a very popular one was the Prince and Princess one. That's one I was very happy about. I was very confident in that one. I think the Prince and Princess voice pack is my best one yet. I got really invested in the lore of the script. A common favorite was also Stardom. The Stardom voice pack, I did an idolish concept for that one, like an idol, where you are my manager and I'm the idol. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Clingy is a popular one. In the Clingy voice pack, it was released in the winter of last year. So I wrote a story where I caught a cold. I got sick, and you were there to I guess nurse me to health a little bit. I say nurse me to health, but it's more like you give me tea and then I talk at you. Not to you, but at you for like 5, 6, however long. I can't remember how long it was. However many minutes. Was it like closer to 7 or 8? Don't tell me. You're actually not supposed to say how long these are. I can't remember how long I talked, but yeah. The Clingy one was a popular one. Sports voice was a fun one. And that one, it was like a baseball AU where I'm a baseball star. But it's an off day. I'm not, like, I don't have a game that day. And I walk you through some stretch routine. I walk you through like a little bit of the stretches that I personally do every morning. Yeah. Then I got sick IRL. Yes! Oh my gosh, that was a funny story about the Clingy voice. I forgot about that. Yeah, when I did the Clingy voice, I recorded it, I think not sick, and then literally right after it was over, I got actually sick. Like, for real. I was healthy when I recorded it, and then I got sick afterwards, for real. It was the funniest timing ever. Yeah. K-sama VP. Yeah, if you're familiar with K-sama is the... Oh my gosh, wait, we're gonna have NIJISANJI EN again pretty soon, right? We're coming up on the summer. That's so exciting. I just thought about that. I completely forgot. That's like an annual thing. Anyway, I participated in the NIJISANJI EN for the first time last year as a member of Nengai Gaoka, which is Kanae Senpai's team. And he created this persona of me where I'm like super cool and handsome. And when he takes the field, all the girls in the audience scream. It was really funny. And they called him Kei-sama. Everybody, like Kanae Senpai and everybody associated with it, they called him Kei-sama. So yeah, in the sports voice, I basically wrote a Kei-sama voice pack where it's Kei-sama, the baseball player, on an off day. Like he doesn't have a game or anything that day. So you just catch him when he's doing his morning or like his afternoon stretches or whatever. Yeah. So if you're interested in guided stretching, Sports VP is a good one. What other ones have I done? Any other recommendations? I haven't done very many. I do not participate in them very often because I'm very picky about it. I need to have a funny or an interesting vision in my mind when I see the theme. Otherwise, I just don't sign up. Because I like writing my own scripts. I'm very strict about it. I don't have any interest in getting anybody else to write them, so that means that I have to be a little selective. Phone call. That was a fun one. In the phone call voice, I ring you late at night, and I basically just trauma dump for several minutes. You know the meme where it's like, "This is where my parents died, Michelangelo." Stop trauma dumping? Do you know that meme? That's the image that I personally assigned to that script after I wrote it. That script was the stop trauma dumping script. I dropped a little bit of lore in that script if you're curious. I talked a little bit about my history. You know, my life story. Yeah. So if you're curious about my history in the modeling industry, feel free to check that one out. Stop trauma dumping? Yeah, that's the trauma dump VP. Late night call, past midnight. I recommend listening to that one on a phone speaker when it's late at night for full immersive experience. Yeah, all of these, basically every voice pack I've personally ever every voice pack I've personally participated in is on sale right now for a limited time. So if you missed your chance, this is your second chance to try it out. The best time was when it came out. Second best time is right now. No pressure though. No pressure though. But yeah, I don't know. I personally I'm not personally a voice pack listener or like an ASMR listener or anything like that. So it's not personally for me. If it's not for you, no pressure. Please don't feel any sense of shame or anything like that. If it is for you, I hope you enjoy it. As always, please feel free to send your impressions, even for old ones, even if time has passed since it came out. Feel free to send your impressions and your thoughts on it if you'd like to rate it or say what you liked about it to the KSMR, that is KAASMR hashtag on Twitter. That way I know what to improve. I know what you like if you send it there. Oh, not until Friday. Oh, okay. So it was announced, but it's not out yet. So 2 days. You gotta wait 2 days. So you got some time to think about it. Yeah, from May 15th through 17th as part of NIJIFest, right? Yeah, 15th through 17th. Sorry, I'm losing track of time. Yeah, I'm all over the place lately. Yeah, very soon. So you got some time to think about it. Maybe ask some friends which ones they liked if they've gotten any. Yeah, my personal recommendation is the Prince and Princess VP. It's my favorite one I've ever done. I think it will remain my favorite for a long time. I really liked the theme for that one, so I had a lot of fun writing the script. I got really into it. Yeah. And that was one of the first ones that I did in both English and Japanese as well. Wink. I like lore. I love writing stories. That was one that because I don't know. The rest of them, it's like I mildly enjoy writing it because I like writing in general. And I know that you like it, or I hope that you like it. But with most voice packs, I'm basically just writing about myself, writing about my experiences. But in the Prince and Princess VP, I was able to kind of imagine somebody completely different from me. Yeah, I assumed like a new ego where I am the prince of a disgraced king who's about to get K-worded by his people. Yeah, that was the concept, by the way. If you're interested in Prince and Princess in a couple days. The concept is that I am the prince of a kingdom and my dad, the king, he's getting old and the people are planning a coup d'etat. And you are my guard. You're like my personal guard. And you catch me when I'm trying to sneak out. I'm trying to sneak out of the castle because I don't want to get involved in the coup d'etat. And you stop me. And then what happens next? I wonder. Yeah, I like that one a lot. My liege. Ooh. Am I your liege? Thank you as always, my knight. Yeah, you're my knight. You're my guard. You're my personal aide, my knight. Yeah, thank you as always. Thank you as always for your support, my knight. It was a really fun one. Yeah, that is my personal recommendation of all the ones that I've done. That was the one I actually felt really proud of. If you were interested in perusing the resales. Again, that'll be basically just this weekend. You got a window of about 2 days to do it. So I guess take the next couple days to think about it if you're curious or interested. And be sure to strike when it drops if you don't want to miss your chance. But no pressure. No pressure. Oh my gosh, I'm a PR machine. I've been talking about this for how many minutes? 15, 20? Anyway. Yeah, what else is there in terms of announcements? NIJISANJI EN is currently, alongside this NIJIFest, we're celebrating our 5th anniversary, right? This is the 5th anniversary of NIJISANJI EN. This is also Lazerlight's 5th anniversary, so go show them some special care and support, some love. You know, as the first unit in Nijisanji En, they shared the anniversary with Nijisanji En. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What else is there? There are some fun things cooking, I'm sure you can imagine, for this anniversary that I'm not at liberty to tell you about it yet, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled for any announcements to come. Outside of Nijisanji En, within By the Beat specifically, overdose covers, yeah. You may have seen Sable's short cover dropped very recently. And mine is on deck to drop next, it seems, right? Am I getting that right? I gotta double check. Let me double check that really quickly. Yeah, mine is due to drop on the 15th at 6 p.m. JST. So that is the 15th at 5 a.m. EDT. If you're interested. Over on the group channel. By the Beat group channel. Yeah, that was a pretty fun one. Oh yeah, the Nijisanji En anniversary. We have like handwritten messages if you're interested. I wrote one. All the other livers wrote one from the branch. Some managers wrote some as well. Super cute little messages. I recommend scrolling through, looking at the Nijisanji En anniversary website page. Super cute. Let's see, is there anything else? Anything I've missed? I've been very removed from the internet the last week, so I genuinely don't know if there are any other announcements to mention. I think that covers the gist of it for now. Obviously, there are things to come, but until they are announced, it is not my place to say it, right? A-E-N. No, I know that pun. I need to know which manager wrote that one. The A-E-N. They wrote A like in hiragana and then E-N in Roman lettering. Latin characters, E-N. So it's like A-E-N, like Nijisanji En, but it's also A-N, which is forever. Which is really cute. Yeah, very clever. That was a very cute little poem. I really liked the ones from managers and staff. I didn't know they were going to be in it. Yeah, super cute. Big love to management. Big love to staff. Everybody works so hard to keep this ship running and to support everybody. I got to be careful not to say too much because when I think about it too much, I start to get really emotional. And I'm not trying to cry in front of you right now. Yeah, please say a word of support and care and thanks to the staff behind Nijisanji En for this anniversary as well. This is their anniversary just as much as the livers. Do send them some love. I realize it's not quite as easy for you to send that love directly, but I guess in your heart at least. You know, remember them and appreciate them just as much if you can. They all work very, very hard. I'm very, very thankful to be in such dedicated hands. Even now, oh my gosh, in the aftermath of my trip, with all my deadlines overlapping, my manager is working 9 to 5 to keep my to-do list clean so that I can clear it and get through it, and is reminding me consistently of everything, and I appreciate it so much. Yeah, big love. Humongous love. Okay, I think that covers everything important, everything serious, everything to come. So Tomodachi live stream tomorrow, probably. There's a chance that I won't be able to do it. It depends on how much work I get done over the next evening/night, and then tomorrow morning, afternoon. But I will let you know when I know. That is vaguely what I'm planning, but it's not locked in for sure. I'll keep you as posted as I can. And then rest of the week is to be determined, because it's Niji Fest and I'm scared to schedule without knowing exactly what's going on. Yeah, I hope you can enjoy the festivities, whether you go in person or whether you watch the things online. There are lots of things that they do usually on YouTube for free. So I recommend checking out the Nijisanji YouTube channel over the next few days. Once Niji Fest starts up, there will be some cool things to watch, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what, and I don't know if it's guaranteed that there will be, but they usually do it, so I assume that they'll do it this year as well, right? Yeah, I hope you can enjoy it. Lots of fun things to come. Some things not on stream. I guess some like announcements, offline things to look at. Yeah, I hope you can enjoy it. Waiting rooms are up. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I hope you can enjoy watching it online. If you're watching the streams instead, they're free to view, most of them. So yeah, hope you can enjoy. All right, I need to get out of here. I've already overstayed the time that I meant to spend here today. Oops. This is why a lot of these days I've just straight up not been streaming, because I know it's impossible for me to set out to just talk to you for like an hour. I'm always gonna want to do more than that, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna let you go now. As always, I hope that you can get some good rest. Hope you can have some delicious food. And please stay safe, okay? Take care of yourself. Make sure you get enough exercise. Stretch properly before bed and when you wake up if you can. You know, just get some sunlight if it's good for you. I assume it is. It's good for most people, but no pressure. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Fluids are good for you, etc. Take care of yourself. When I see you again, I want you to be in good shape, all right? Okay. Till next time. I'll see you again as soon as I can. Thank you as always for your support. Bye-bye.